see.
Yeah, 1 minute. Is there an audience in here?
Yes, you're live on YouTube as well.
Oh. Okay.
No pressure. I'm just kidding.
Okay, wait. Let me just send it. So these are, you want me to send a graph? Like these are graphs?
I mean, I don't know what you're looking at, but there's usually a diagram or a depiction of it. So I was thinking maybe it came with the depiction. If not, maybe we can post one.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's just a horizontal plane, but none of these examples have the same.
Can you show what you're looking at so that maybe the audience?
Yeah, I'm just about to send it. Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on.
Because I don't know what came up, but I do want other people to see what you're looking at.
Okay, let me just screenshot the page.
That'll work. Can I say that because a lot of people haven't seen this, so.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know.
Do this. And I think it's important.
It's just a graph of distance, like distance to height. Like it's not.
Sweet. All right. So any one of those, what is it showing? What are those depictions?
A graph of distance across height.
Okay. What do you have on those lines that show like numbers on them? What are those numbers on those lines? Look at the line that runs across the bottom of that land. Look at the line that runs at the top, along vertically up. What is it showing? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. What are those two lines? The one horizontal and the one vertical. What are those numbers on those lines? The vertical one and
I already said it twice. Distance and height.
Excellent. So with those two things, we know what?
The elevation profile.
Exactly. And that's how we know what elevation is from any point on the surface. What do you think that bottom line is? I'll tell you, but I just want you to figure it out. I'm letting you engage with your own thoughts. Go ahead.
What?
What do you think that bottom line is? I'll tell you once you can't guess it. I don't want you to think forever.
Which bottom line?
The one that's horizontal.
That's ground level, sea level.
Yes. Thank you. It's sea level. It's mean sea level. It's the average height, or it's the average of the rise and fall of tides. So that right there is flat Earth. That line.
Bro, what?
Yeah. Shock horror, right? It is. That's flat Earth. You're looking at it right now. That's
I'm not.
Yes, I'm sorry, but yeah, it is.
Dude, I'm sorry.
I hate to be the one breaking it to you, but that's it.
So
that's how we know what elevation is. In order for
this to be defined as an Earth, you would need to be covering the entire surface area of the Earth.
We do.
So could you please tell me which of those pictures that I sent covers the entire surface area? Because if you look, they go up to about 2,000 kilometers, not 250,000.
Yeah.
So could you show me the real flat Earth alleged elevation profile?
Yeah, we
only have one, which you probably don't, right? Because it doesn't represent a flat Earth. It represents. No, I'm not triggered. No, well, of course, gaslighting does trigger one.
No, it doesn't. It's not gaslighting. It sounds like you're upset because you just found out that's what flat Earth is. That's what it's always been.
Okay, so you don't actually think the Earth is flat, right?
I'm showing you how it is flat. What do you mean? Like, this is exactly how it is flat. That's elevation profile. You wanted to see something. I'm showing you something. This is the model that you can look at that shows you how people know that the Earth is flat. Like right here. This is ground zero.
This theory here coincides with globe Earth, and you haven't disproved globe Earth. So
it's not a theory, but because check this out. See that bottom line that
I'm not saying it's a theory. I'm saying the scientific theory, which has resulted in an elevation profile, coincides with the globe Earth.
Okay, well, that's not correct because that bottom line would be curving.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, that horizontal line would be curving. Yeah, it's not.
Okay, so you just revealed that you do not understand how dimension works.
Okay, well, you're just going to interrupt. Go ahead.
This is a man-made graph, okay?
Yeah, that's what you wanted. You wanted that, right? You wanted a model, a man-made model. Isn't that what you asked for?
No. See, this is not a model. Okay. This is a graph. It's a graph. Do you understand the difference between a realistic 3D model and a graph? Do you understand the difference there?
Yeah, you could do that too.
This elevation profile, you could do that
if you wanted.
It's just based off of 2 dimensions.
Yeah, if you keep searching, elevation profiles are in a 3D model.
The reason why the bottom line is flat is in order for you to read the graph efficiently. Yeah. If it were curved, you would not be able to verify and measure at the X points.
That's correct. You're saying the answer. That's exactly what it is right there. Thank you for saying the answer. You've explained.
You did not understand what I just said.
I did. You've explained exactly what I would have told you.
Repeat what I just said back.
Yeah, if the Earth was curved, it would not be efficient. That's why it's drawn out with the horizontal plane that shows distance. You're correct. It wouldn't make sense if the bottom line was curved, which is the reason why you can't depict it on a curved surface, which would be like the Earth being a globe in your head.
No, I never said the Earth is not curved. I said the line on the graph is horizontal because it makes it easier for you to perceive information from it, right? Get information from it.
Yes.
But the reason that this doesn't prove that the Earth is actually a flat surface is because, for example, sir, if you looked at an elevation profile of a hill, right? A hill in your neighborhood, and then you wanted to verify the elevation profile, as you were walking, you would not notice the curve of the Earth. So you would not even require a curve on the map to read the information efficiently. This is a scientific graph, and it does not prove your model. So again,
do you guys have a model of the flat Earth?
No, it's not. It's a model of elevation profile with sea level adjusted, not accurately to size or to ratio.
Wow. Yep. How do you know that information? I want to know how you knew that. How do you know that?
Common sense.
Common sense. So no thought was put into here, but except for common sense?
No, I already explained to you why the line is straight and horizontal.
Yeah,
twice.
Because the Earth is flat.
No.
Yeah.
No, sir.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
No, sir.
Yes, ma'am. See, this information is hard to digest because you've only been told that the Earth is curved, but you yourself made a great explanation of why. It's like, because it's easy to see. If the line was curved, you wouldn't be able to know how you get elevation profiles. But because the Earth is flat with mean sea level, you can accurately depict the elevation of anything on the land. It's easy to see. Yeah. Efficient. Yeah.
Because if you knew anything about sea level, you would know sea level changes in every country.
I know.
So this line isn't even accurate to 10% of the Earth. So how does it represent 10%?
Earth? Wait a minute. Opinion? Where did you get that number? How do you know 10%?
No, that was just an example, okay?
No, I want to know where you came up with the number because you said 10%. How do you know it's 10%?
It's not. These are all different distances. And the screenshot I showed, they're all different distances. I was just giving an example of a distance.
Yeah, but you said 10%, and you're giving people the impression. You're giving people in this listening audience
the elevation profile of the whole Earth. It would actually look like a globe.
I think you just okay. Let's just calm down. Let's calm down. I want to know the information. Yeah, let's just calm down. I want to know information of how you know it's 10%. Like you're giving the impression that you know this number to be true. And we want to know, how did you get there? How do you know 10%?
I just told you it was an example.
Yeah, I know, but why did you say 10%?
Because it's too minor for it to be considered a majority in order for it to be representative of the entire size of the Earth.
Right, but why 10%?
Because 10% is a good number, bitch.
Oh, really? Well, you got pretty hostile really quickly. And I'm trying to see, I'm pointing out the reason why people have a lack of knowledge. And just like you're making things up, First Fem. Now, why do I got to be all kinds of
what
names?
What did I make up?
What? 10%? 10%.
No. I did not make something up because I did not.
Okay, then how did you come up with that? First Fem, how did you come up with that?
Dude, you don't understand how debates work, right? If I give you an example,
this isn't a debate. I'm just simply asking you what you know. I'm only asking how did you come up with 10%?
No, it is a debate because we are cross-reviewing a source currently. We're analyzing something.
We're not doing any of that. We're just
we're trying to analyze something empirically in order to find the truth.
Yeah, but you're not analyzing. This is the problem, First Fem. You're not analyzing. You're upset. You're calling me a bitch because I'm asking you how you got to 10%, and you said it's common sense. You don't even know how you got 10%.
That was not my response. That was not my response. No,
you said it, dude. We could roll the tape back. You said it was your common sense.
That's
what you said.
Yes, my line of. Can I answer you? My line of thought was common sense. The 10% itself, I never said common sense in response to the 10%. Like,
how did you get to 10% though? How did you get that?
I already told you several times. 10% is simply an example of a small coverage. Do you understand what's going on right now?
Coverage of what?
The elevation profile that I sent pictures of has a small amount of distance. For example, 10% of the Earth's actual surface area. Right? So it's not accurate to an Earth model because an Earth model would cover a much larger distance, not just 10%. Do you understand how I was giving a percentage as an example of something insignificant in terms of a model for the entire Earth?
Yeah,
you would need to show me an entire model of the whole surface of the Earth in order for it to be accurate. And that's common sense, buddy.
Yeah, but you're only saying 10% because you think that's a way to depict of how you know that a small portion of land is being represented. But the problem I'm asking you to solve is the fact that you just made up 10%. You don't know, you didn't do any mathematics to figure this out, where people would if they really wanted to.
I never claimed 10 to be a number of value, 10% to be a number of value.
It is a value number. Figure it out. What do you mean?
Dude, I'm giving you an example. It's a fraction of what you would actually need to show.
Yeah, how did you get that fraction? How did you get it? I'm trying to figure out where did it come from.
I didn't get a fraction. I gave you an example of a fraction to show it's less than a whole.
Why not 15? Why not 25? Why not 36?
Everybody's wondering why you said 10%, just like I was. I want to know where you came up with this information, unless you just making it up, which I think you are.
You guys are trolls. You guys are sadists, and you need psychotherapy. Yes. You need psychotherapy. Yes, I gave an example.
These guys are a lot more articulate than they seem, even though they are flat earthers.
Yeah,
I'm only trying to find out. I'm only trying to find out how you derive this information, First Fem.
I wouldn't insult them.
I didn't derive the information because I gave it to you as an example of a fraction. A fraction is used to represent something less than a whole. The elevation I sent is not a whole, so therefore it is not a model of an Earth, nor a flat Earth. So
how do you know it's 10%?
Like, do you have a model for your flat Earth?
How do you know it's 10% of the whole?
I'm leading this conversation now. The elevation profile I sent is not representative of the entire distance of an Earth. Please, sir, may you provide a new source, please, because your flat Earth model is bullshit because it is only a fraction of what a real Earth model would represent.
Okay, so you don't want to have a conversation
will you show some evidence or will you cower back in ignorance and stupidity? Your choice.
Okay. All right. Well, you just muted me, I think. And did she mute me?
No, you're not muted. I just had to speak over you because your ignorant ass keeps speaking up.
Okay, so I'm ignorant. All right, so
yeah, you are.
Anyways, we had a conversation with First Fem, and it seems like I couldn't get the answer to where she got 10% from. So I guess we're going to be left.
You don't need
no
the answer for my point to be correct. You don't need to hyperfixate and cherry pick an example I gave.
Because you say look, everything that people say in here, we have to find out how they know what they know, right? This is all part of critical thinking, and if you don't have the ability to give us the information of where this came from. So
basically, you're using the fact that I said a random number to
you did say a random number. I thought you said you knew what you were talking about. Just a moment ago, you made this whole speech of how I'm an idiot and how this information came to be like what you said. Now it's a random number. I never
said 10% was accurate, nor did I say it was a number of value.
Wow.
I used 10% to represent a fraction because your elevation profile represents a fraction of an accurate surface area to what the Earth is.
Thank you.
We know the surface area of the Earth because
you're saying truth right now.
of humans walking and traveling. We can track those distances. The elevation profile that you asked me to send is not representative of an Earth model. So once again, I came in here and I asked you for a flat Earth model, which you failed to show me. For the record, you failed to show a flat Earth model because your whole skit is bullshit.
No, we don't need that matrix. We don't need that one.
Bullshit.
We posted. You've posted it yourself, First Fem.
No, I didn't. I posted an elevation profile of 200 kilometers, not the Earth. Your turn.
Okay, yeah, 200 kilometers. How much more do you need without any curvature, First Fem?
We need it to be the whole Earth.
Yeah, well, think about it. Anybody that gets an elevation profile will depict it in just the manner that you showed. Look, I mean, can we just look at the image you posted?
I can show you the globe elevation profile right now. Would you like to see it, sir? Would that be some new information for you, sir?
Okay, so let's just review the image that you posted. Can we do that? I think that's
let's review the globe elevation profile that we're about to see is the real model of the Earth. And since you don't have an actual flat Earth model, I guess that'll be
a flat Earth model,
right?
That's
I guess that'll be the end of the conversation because you're a dumbass and you don't know what you're talking about.
First Fem, it wasn't. Yeah, look, there's another one. You know what?
I'd be a better flat earther than you would. You're too low IQ for this shit. Please give up. Yeah, really. Your only method is...
I've been doing this for 10 years, and I've seen people like you sound very pompous and arrogant because you think you know what you're talking about. And when I point out the fact that you guys don't have any information, you have egg on your face, and you get upset, you call me bitch.
Anything I said. You have not deconstructed...
I have. I've actually affirmed. Listen, here's what I've done. Here's what I've done in the conversation. I have affirmed the fact that you wanted the thing that you were asking for, a flat Earth model. I gave you one. Actually, you looked it up yourself, and now that you've seen it, you're shocked horror.
That's not a model. That's a graph of a random distance.
It's a model of what the elevation looks like. Yeah, it's a model of the elevation profile of the Earth. It is a model.
So you're saying it could be likened to the Earth's profile?
Yes. 100%.
But that's not a model. That's therefore not a model because it's not accurate representation.
Well, just because you disagree with it doesn't make it not true. That what you asked for is what I gave you.
I'm using English language to prove what I'm saying. The definition of model needs to be an accurate representative.
It is because it's showing you the elevation from the
random distance.
First, Fem, it's giving you the elevation of the things depicted within it. So let's say, for instance, 1 for 1, right? It's going to show you. Hold on, let me just tell you.
So look at the one that
hold on. Let me. Can I explain my side?
Look at the one that Sasha sent, right?
Let me just explain my side. Okay, so whenever you see that horizontal line, okay, that's sea level, right? Anything above that's a representation of land above that. So the elevation profile that you're seeing is showing you what elevation the certain things are, right? The mountain, the hill, whatever it is, and it's showing you everything that's above mean sea level. So yeah, it's a depiction of the Earth, like as it would be represented in a model. So I'm not showing you nothing that you didn't ask for. I'm giving you exactly what you asked for, and now you're unhappy with it. It's not my problem. You're unhappy with it.
What I asked for.
It is, and it's showing how the horizontal line. And I'll say it again: the horizontal line that's underneath there that shows you distance is flat Earth. That's flat Earth right there. That's when we talk about flat Earth, you say, well, how flat is the Earth? Show me the flat Earth. That is flat Earth right there. It's the horizontal line.
You're saying that, hang on.
Let me just explain first, Fem. The horizontal line that extends.
No, you're saying that a random one-dimensional line.
Bro, you're over-talking me. You're silencing me. You don't want me to give you the answer? You're silencing me, bro. You're over-talking.
You don't have any answers.
I'm trying to tell you, bro. You're over-talking me.
Let him give his explanation of what it is so other people can understand, even if you don't. It's perfectly legitimate representation that you don't understand because you have a presupposition of curvature. So let AV explain it for the audience and keep yourself quiet for a minute, please.
Yeah, just a moment. So basically the horizontal line that extends outward is how we describe. That's how people know what their elevation is because you have to start with a baseline. So ground zero would be the vertical point at which mean sea level is taken, right? So you take the mean sea level, that's the rise and fall of tides right at mean sea level, and then you extend that outward into land, and that horizontal plane that extends outward is a great way for us to know what elevation is above or below mean sea level. So that horizontal plane that extends outward, you can be able to say, let's just say like 20 miles inland or whatever. You'll say, I'm at this point right here standing on top of a hill. So that point on top of the hill is gained from mean sea level. So that it's like if you can cut through the Earth all the way across, it would be a horizontal plane that extends outward so that people can know if they're above or below mean sea level. So that's exactly what flat Earth is. It's a description of the horizontal plane that we reference. That's what it is. And that's a model of what it looks like. What you asked for.
So you don't actually believe the Earth is flat?
It's not a belief. Yeah, it's the depiction of what the Earth actually is. Of course. We're showing you that it's not a belief. This is exactly what the Earth is. It's flat.
No, the Earth is also a globe that we perceive as flat because we are so small and insignificant that, yes, on an average sea level plane.
Okay, so that's a good story that someone's told you. Now I've given you a model. Yeah, I've given you. Listen, here's what I'm going to show you. I've given you a model, and it comes with elevation profile. Can you do that with the globe? What I've just shown you, can you do that with the globe? That shows elevation profile using a curved surface. Go ahead. Try it.
Yeah, I already sent it.
Go ahead.
I already sent it a long time ago.
Yeah, let's see it. Let's use it to where people can actually know they're above or below mean sea level.
Right
do it
here,
with the
dude.
globe. Yeah, do it with the globe, please.
Right here, dude.
Okay. What are you pointing at? Let's see. Okay, so you're showing an exaggerated. It says, you see that in parentheses, exaggerated.
Yeah, do you know why it's exaggerated?
Yeah, why is it exaggerated?
Do you not know why? Why don't you take a guess?
You tell me.
You can take a guess. You wanted me to guess your answers that you already know, right?
Aren't you going to tell me? I wanted you to tell me how this shows elevation profile. Go ahead.
You know how it shows elevation profile.
I've given you my answer for flat Earth. What is yours?
Yeah, off the horizontal baseline. I'm not.
All right, wait, guys. Thank you for chiming in on the sideline, but I really want her to, because you're going to trigger her if you say anything more. She's already triggered. So
I'm not triggered. I just don't really understand you guys' motive.
There's no motive. It's just we're talking to people about a basic reasoning, right? We're trying to reason with people and trying to get them to realize the information is not supported.
You guys are revealing.
Bro, you gotta learn how to relax and not interrupt, bro.
No, I don't care what you think my life lesson is. The Earth is a globe that we perceive as flat because we are small and insignificant.
Yes, but that's what they've been telling you. They've been telling you this, person.
I sent you was exaggerated, and you asked me why it's exaggerated. Because of the sheer scale of the Earth, if the diagram were not exaggerated, then you would not be able to use it to find your location because you are so small. And by
that seems like you're changing the pitch of your voice. I could hear you changing the pitch of your voice, which means it signifies to me that you're doing it to kind of put emphasis that we are very tiny. I get it. So we're not talking about that. We're talking about how that what you're pointing to, that globe that's spinning around, how does that make any logical sense that we could measure on the surface? Because we don't measure that. Actually, we use elevation profiles to depict the land that we're standing on. Now, and like what I'm trying to tell you, First Fem, is your story.
Have you ever zoomed out on Google Maps?
Yeah. So your story about us being very tiny on a giant ball doesn't give you a way to find out how you know you're standing on a ball. It's just it's a cartoon ball, right? So you have to show in any way the cartoon ball shows a 1-for-1 examination of the Earth as it is. So how does a cartoon ball show us a 1-for-1 that we're standing on a giant ball? How does it do that? I want to know. I mean, if something you're defending is true, then it should come with a way that you can show us a method of how we're actually standing on a ball. And what way can you know that? I mean, don't tell me the story. We all heard the story.
You know, you can see that the way the moon orbits us and the way that we orbit the sun through basic observation. You can also see the way the globe is spinning through tracking the stars. You can also see that we are, in fact, in an orbit when we witness the lunar and solar eclipses. That is, of course, unless you believe that those are simply holograms and they're not real.
No.
In which case, you could start to... Yeah, okay. So, what do you mean? You can observe...
I don't think it's a hologram. No, that's...
Okay, so the Earth is a globe because of the observations in the sky.
Let's just... hold on. Like, don't be too hasty. Let's figure out what orbit means. What does orbit mean?
Orbit means to circle around.
Okay. Have you ever witnessed this?
Yeah, I have witnessed the sun go from east to west every day.
Okay,
Yeah.
it goes from east
And
to
the
west.
seasons change.
Yeah, hold
And
on,
I have
first fam.
witnessed
Wait.
the
Hold
stars
on.
move across
Pump the
the
brakes,
sky.
bro. Like, let's not. You get way too hasty. All right, so it goes from east to west, from horizon to horizon. Beyond the horizon, can you see it revolve around the Earth? Like an orbit?
You can tell that the Earth is a globe because of the time and the
You're not answering my
calculation.
question, bro.
What's your question?
Have you ever witnessed an entire orbit of anything? Of the moon?
No,
Of
because
the
I'm too
sun?
small.
Okay, so
I'm
you
not.
haven't seen what you're claiming exists. You're saying
And you
that the
haven't
orbits
seen it
exist.
flat. You haven't seen
Bro,
the fucking profile
bro, you're telling me that
of
things exist,
the
right?
Earth.
Like orbits exist, right? And I'm only asking, where have you seen an orbit? And you're like, well, dude, we see it all the time. I'm like, dude, we don't see it.
Listen, just because a monkey hasn't seen a McDonald's doesn't mean it doesn't exist, okay?
That's not the point, though. You made a
It
claim
does,
to an.
because
You made a claim to orbits.
from
First,
clues, you can place something in a puzzle together. This is what critical thinking is. This is what
No,
pattern
critical think
recognition
is what
is.
I've been trying to show
If you
you
can
right now.
see, no, sir, if you can
It's how to
see
process
the
information
sun
like
disappear
orbits.
along the horizon, and then at the same time, New York is just experiencing sunrise, I know that
That's
the
great.
curvature of the Earth exists
You don't
because
know
I
that.
can no longer see the sun,
You imagine it,
where
First Fam.
5,000 kilometers eastwards can start to see the sun, meaning that there is a curvature between us, casting shadows and putting me into nighttime. Do you
Yeah.
understand how
Yeah.
how critical thinking works?
No, it's not
You
critical
cannot
thinking. It's
prove
your imagination running wild.
it's
That's
not
what you have going on. It's not
the
critical
imagination.
thinking.
It's not. It's the consensus
Yeah,
of the
let's
global
do this, right?
population.
Because I've already showed you that you don't understand the word orbit. We went back to orbits. You've never witnessed an orbit. You can affirm that, right? You've never witnessed an orbit. You said no because we're too tiny. You've said that to me already. That's why you said we can't see an orbit. And that seems to be a proper excuse for not witnessing the thing that you think is happening, right? So now I don't want to talk
No,
about imagination.
I am witnessing the thing, but your question was, have you seen a whole orbit? And the
Yes,
reason
that's what
I
an
have not
orbit
seen a
is.
whole orbit, sir, is because I've never been off planet Earth, so I cannot observe
Okay.
it. Neither
Okay, so
have
then
you, and neither has 99% of
yeah,
the population.
yeah. So you're telling me
Yet,
what an
that
orbit
also
is, yet
means
you've
you
never
cannot
witnessed
disprove
one.
it, Globe Earth. You cannot prove with a flat Earth model that your model coincides with all of the astrophysical movement we see around us. Globe Earth does match it, flat Earth doesn't match it, so who is actually hallucinating here?
You are.
No,
You are.
sir. No, sir.
Yes, you've only
No,
hallucinated
sir.
the fact that you live on a ball and that you've never witnessed an orbit.
I
You
have
can't
witnessed an
describe
orbit. I have witnessed an orbit. I have been
really.
alive for many
And an
years.
orbit means
And I
that
have
you've
witnessed many orbits around the
which
sun,
one
etc.
around the sun? What do you mean?
Yeah. What do you mean?
What?
What do you mean?
Yeah, an orbit around the sun. When have you seen that?
We on Earth are orbiting around the sun.
How do you
Therefore,
know that?
we
Have
see
you
the
ever
sun
witnessed
from the
that? When
perspective.
have you witnessed that
Yes,
orbit?
I
When?
have witnessed the sun moving. Therefore, I
Yes.
have witnessed an orbit.
No, it's moving doesn't denote orbit. It just means it's moving.
Yes, it
An
does,
orbit.
because the Earth is spinning and the seasons are changing, which
No,
denotes
that's what you're
a
hallucinating to tell me. It's not true. It's just not true. We witnessed the
Can you
sun
prove that it's
moving
not true?
across the
Can you give me
sky.
an alternative reality? No, you can't.
No, it's not alternative. It's just listen. We're going on basic observations, First Fem. That's all we're doing.
Yes,
We're looking at
sure. My
the
basic
world around us.
observation: when the sun goes from east to west, like I'm
Yes.
telling you, and sunset comes for me around 10 p.m., New York is just about to get its first signs of light. 5,000 kilometers eastward of me. Okay, westward. I mean, sorry, 5,000
Yeah.
kilometers westward. Okay, this means that the curvature of the Earth must exist.
You
And
just
we
insert.
must
See,
also,
it must exist. Why must it exist? That's what I'm
well,
questioning.
why don't
Why
you go
must
get
it?
a balloon and a candle, and why don't you spin the
Answer my
candle around the
question, First
balloon?
Fem.
No, you
Answer my
answer
question.
my question. Why are
Why
you
must
so
it
stupid that you
exist?
cannot observe an orbit? Why
First
don't you
Fem
go outside today? Why
is
don't you take a
triggering.
video of the orbit? Why don't you draw the curve that the sun moves in,
It's
proving that we
triggering,
are in
bro.
fact spinning on a
I'm
curved
asking you
ball?
a question. Why must it exist? You're not. She spiraled out. Dude. Oh my goodness. This is too much, dude. Too much for the mind. Usually, this has been happening to me lately. People just like short circuit and leave. That's fine. Ah, well.
It must exist even if you cannot detect it, measure it, and see ever.
She said I was hallucinating, but it's a nice projection when I'm not the one that's imagining it must exist. No, it must not exist because it does. There's no evidence of it existing.
If it must exist, it will be there outside.
Yeah, one of the great things I've been looking into is when they've been asking for models, and it's a good thing to talk about models, right? Because you could model a lot of stuff, right? But the model of the Earth being flat and the elevation profile is the knockdown win. You guys want to know why? Because it models a portion of the Earth using mean sea level, which she had to walk through painfully and show everybody. She didn't know this, right? Because a lot of people don't. When you model out the elevation profile, you get whatever you're targeting, right? Whether it's a specific piece of land that shows elevation change, and then it shows how that elevation is changing. And you have to use mean sea level in order to know that any more elevation changes occur along that horizontal plane. Well, you can't do that with a curved surface. Sorry. So definitely a great example when they're saying, show us a model of the flat Earth. Well, here you go. And it's also...
Miggy, for me, it's always why to show model. Do you know when you say model, for example, model of Boeing 747?
Yeah, that's fine. Sasha, listen, bro. A lot of times that we look into, we can see things just modeled out. It's good for visual representation, but I don't let's just. I don't want to go into the other side of when we talk about models. Yeah, scientific models. Yeah, I get it. But when people are asking for visual Sasha, when people are asking for visual brother, when people are asking for visual representation, they want to see something. So it's easy for the eyes when they see that elevation can be taken from mean sea level. And that's what an elevation profile does. It gives you a quick way to look at something very simply.
Yes, I understand that. I posted that elevation profile but I'm only saying when somebody's speaking about any kind of model, there is original to present to say, okay, this model is really presenting the original. Do you understand? Any kind of model, if you want to present that, that will be the copy of the original. The real one, only small one, maybe. You can make it like let's say globe Earth model, and now you put the globe and you put all the continents and everything around and say, look, this is the model of the Earth. Yeah, great, but this is the model. Let's use the original now. Let's go outside and check it if that is matching, not the model. What people want to match the model with the model, not with the reality.
That's fine. That was not my point, though. I want to actually just demonstrate the fact that, let's just kind of go through what happened with this prior interaction. Somebody was asking for something very specific. And when given that information, the person started to feel like what I was depicting and what I was showing with the elevation profiles is not true in some kind of way, but you can't debunk something that's been proven, which is how we obtain elevations, right? So that's something that's very commonly used within the professional field of surveying. So they have to know that, right? Information needs to be given to people who request it, especially if you're building over the land. You need to know elevation profile, right? If you're going to build a railroad or tunnels or canals, anything, you need this information. It's crucial, right? You can't do that with a curved surface. It's not able to be taken. So elevation profile using mean sea level is absolutely paramount. So
I hear you, AB. My favorite part of that was how you walked her through. She even said a couple times, like, you have a horizontal baseline or something like that. That was hilarious, man. Good job.
Yeah, she said that and not me. And she was like, because it's more efficient. Yeah. That's what we'd say. It's more efficient because that's what it is. It's none other than that. So, I mean, you could writhe and contort and whatever you want. The whinging's not going to help, dude. What would help is a good explanation as to how the Earth is a globe based on something we can perceive and test, measure, and it just isn't.
And isn't it interesting how her natural instinct was to revert to her story that she thinks is true and trying to tell you the story and not actually engaging with what you were saying, you know?
Yeah, and then I think in every point that she tried to bring up and projection that I was the one hallucinating, I examined what she was saying. She was talking about things that she could never witness, like an orbit. She's never seen an orbit. And her excuse was because we're so tiny on the Earth. And that was always her excuse. Because we're so small, we could never see an orbit. Well, okay, so then how are you saying they exist? How do orbits exist if you never witnessed one? Like that's important because the audience wants to know. They want to know when you say orbit that you've witnessed something in like an orbit. So no orbits then? Okay, no orbits. We didn't even get to the fact that she was talking about the sun in motion. That would have been another thing, but it's just the globe is so riddled with like logical fallacies, dude, and just pitfalls in reason. But that's fine. I'll allow people to go wherever they want. It doesn't matter to me. You can try to explain it the best way you can, but the physical examination of the Earth is of one, like the elevation profile depicts, that it needs the horizontal baseline to understand elevation. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. And all she's got is what, ad homs? That doesn't win the day, sir. Ad homs don't win the day.
I'm going to guess she's frantically Googling away trying to find some Earth curvature or something. Her name, I could be wrong.
That's what usually happens. People want to prove their point still. It's like the point that needs to be proven and carried over is the one that you can make here verbally. I actually wanted her to depict in any way the Earth to be a globe and to show us how it is. I mean, the floor is yours, right? If this is what you think is the nature of reality, go ahead, present it, show us, demonstrate it. Why would we be afraid of that? But the problem is there is no way to describe it as a curved surface, as a globe. So that's important. It's hard too because in the meantime I'm speaking to somebody or we're having the exposition occur. I hear people on the sideline chiming in. It's like you're just going to antagonize her more, guys, if you chime in and say, "Oh, that's so stupid." Like we all get it, okay? I mean, it's just let's try to refrain from doing that. Let's try to keep it where we're not triggering the speaker because she was already triggered as it was. But we're trying to have her hold on for as long as we can for the exposition to occur. So good stuff, good stuff. We have some people. Yeah, thank you for joining the chat, by the way. If you're in here and this is the first time that you joined us, welcome to the 24/7 Flat Earth on the Politics Discord. We're glad to be here. We want to give good exposition. So if you have anything akin to information that supports the Earth being a globe, please open up your mic and I'll have a conversation with you. I've been doing this for a while, so I know exactly mostly all the conversations. But of course, every mind is new to me, so I don't know where you're going to go with it. It's completely up to you. But we're going to find out whether or not you have the knowledge to back up the information that the Earth is an actual globe. Which, yeah, I'm willing to hear you out, but you have to come with information to support your claim. So you can get triggered. I mean, it doesn't bother me because I know that people, it's like a natural process that usually occurs when somebody's talking about information that they thought was the case for such a long time. And just like looking in the mirror and finding out it's not that, it's pretty triggering. So, can anyone here tell me if they know that the Earth is a globe, an actual globe? It's up to you guys.
What's that about the Earth being flat?
Yeah, I mean the Earth is flat, but if the Earth is a globe, if you have any information to support it.
I mean, the last time I came here, I referenced what the hell was it? I referenced the freaking, like, the image of the NASA's photo, but you guys, like, debunked it saying it was, like, CGI. But I still don't get what narrative NASA would have for, like, claiming the world is flat. Like, what agenda does it serve?
Well, what were you trying to present, and then it got pushed?
Yeah, basically, I was like pulling up the picture from the 90s or whatever from like NASA about like how the world is fucking not flat, but
okay.
Fuck.
Do you have the image? Hello?
Not on me. I'll have to look it up. 1 sec.
Yeah, if you find it, just post it in the text chat. We'll talk about it. If nobody else jumps in, because usually people get energized when you start saying that what you just said. So go and look for your image, post it in the text. We'll have a conversation.
I mean, I was listening to Eddie Bravo years ago say to Joe Rogan that it's I think it's the Blue Marble one. Sure. No, this particular this particular one had an image of Madagascar in it, and the people were trying to tell me to look up weather reports from
that's one way.
Madagascar in the 1970s.
That's one. I think you know what? I think I was here when they were talking to you about it. I don't think I was a part of that conversation, but I think
there's a bunch of those images that have popped up. I don't know which ones are actual like photos from the Hubble telescope or like whatever. I can't tell which one's the real one. They all look kind of CGI, but I know one of these is an actual photo.
Yeah, go ahead and post it, Hollow. Let's see what you got.
If I can find it, like, cause like I can show you my Google search right now. I've got like a million different photos of the.
Yeah, well, find the one that actually points to the one that shows what you want to talk about.
There's a bunch that have came up. This doesn't even look like Earth.
Well, I mean,
what's it called? The Blue Ball?
The 1970. Are you referring to the 1972 Blue Marble?
Yeah, 1972. 1970.
Blue Marble. You got to type in those keywords.
Yeah, this one came up. Yeah, there it is. There's the one with Madagascar. Okay, let me just post it in the side chat.
Put that one in the side chat. All right, so Hollow Theorist is going to post an image. And what was your argument?
Here it is. My argument was basically like, what conspiracy does NASA get from the Earth being like round? Like, why would people deny the Earth being flat if it was? Like, what is the conspiracy here? Okay, so you're asking about the conspiracy, and you're going at it from that angle. Like, what is the conspiracy? Like, what is the point of like denying the Earth is flat? Like, from the perspective of globetrotters, like, what is the gain? Okay, so this is for the audience. I think maybe you don't. Most of you might have the same opinion if you think like Hollow. You might want to like say, hey, yeah, look, he's posting an image. That's the Earth right there. And a lot of people might take it to a different direction. But I'm gonna walk you through a great way to actually get good exposition on this like argument, I guess you could call it. So his argument is that what is the conspiracy that is not what they're showing us here. Well, let's use a bit of critical thinking, Hollow. How have they verified this information to you? What was the point of verification that this is exactly what it is? Is it just because they took it? Is that all? Is that all the standard? I mean, what standard are you applying to the knowledge behind this image? Like, I don't think. I'm sure there is some controversy surrounding NASA, but NASA
forget about that. Forget it. Yeah. I'm actually bypassing the controversy. I don't care about that. Honestly, whatever motive or whatever they're talking and cloud coverage, and I'm not concerned with that. Okay, if you look at the article on my stream. Yeah, what I'm asking you is what thought process and what standard are you applying to this image to how you know that the Earth is exactly representation in that image? Like, what did you do to validate that information? Well, unfortunately, you could say it was a globe-taught education, being in school, gravity being a thing, the moon controls the tides, and the fact that... It sounds like a culmination of information, right? Like a preponderance of it, right? I mean, growing up, I was always told the Earth was round, and I grew up in a Catholic household, and I didn't have any Christian fundamentalists who told me the Earth is flat, which isn't directly said in the Bible, by the way. The Bible does not directly say the Earth is flat. Oh, nice tangent. We're not talking about that. Yeah. So just focused on the image you presented. How do you know that information validates the Earth being a globe? Let's use some critical thinking. Because it validates what the goodness me. Was it Copernicus? No, that he was the one with solar system. Let me look up. Isaac Newton was the guy who discovered gravity, right? Look Isaac Newton. Look up what you think would be supporting this.
Yeah. So you have figures like Isaac Newton, who came across the concept of gravity, and basically you had other scientists and natural philosophers make similar claims about stuff, about like, oh yeah, Isaac Newton's theory actually makes a lot of sense because of how physics works. I mean, I'm no physicist. I'm just a dumbass on the internet.
Oh, you're fine. Don't. Yeah, I wouldn't. Don't.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not claiming to be like Albert Einstein. My understanding of relativity.
But you sound like a smart guy. Like I mean,
you can just because I'm a dumbass who barely got through college. I'm
okay. I'm gonna get on a side tangent. Just a quick one. Dude, when you wake up every day, speak positivity into your life, okay? Don't speak negative. This is negativity.
There's optimism, and then there's
yeah, I get it. I get optimism, right? That's not what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Because like your world, things that are going around you could be crashing around. Yeah, I get it. But speak positivity into your life. Know that you can accomplish goals. Like even though the world around you seems like it's a bit rough, this is the only thing I'm saying. Always affirm that you can know information. You're good enough. You're smart enough, and you can accomplish a goal. So just speak positivity. I don't know. It just, to me, I don't care if you're a globalist or whatever. At some point, you gotta think positive, brother. Like just think it, know it, and then own it. So anyway, that's a side tangent. I don't want to get too far into it. But
so I'm looking at this article. Newton solved the two-body problem, introduced the three-body problem. He demonstrated the motion of objects on Earth and celestial bodies, blah, 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 accounts for the same principles. Basically, there's a lot of stuff that the theory of gravity is based upon, and a lot of that is modern-day physics, I guess. A lot of it, hell, even something as simple as like like a solar flare can cause electronics on Earth to stop working, and a lot of these things are interlinked with gravity to some extent, and there is a lot of stuff that wouldn't make a lot of sense if gravity and the world being round was a thing.
Okay, so you're saying that the image or the thing that validates the image to be true is kind of going into gravity.
Yeah, it is, because a lot of this Newton didn't want to do gravity. Source broke. Sasha, maybe let me look this up. Did Newton discover gravity?
Go ahead.
No, Newton write a letter. You can find out the letter, and he said that it's absurd to think that. And he said that he doesn't want to be connected with the gravity even. Yeah. He pointed out that in a letter. If you want to know,
Sasha, let me carry this exposition. I want you guys to hear the way I do.
According to this,
just listen, okay? Go ahead, Hollow.
According to this, Isaac Newton changed the way we understand the universe, blah, blah, blah. He discovered the laws of gravity and motion and invented calculus. So I don't know anything about calculus. All I know is it's math. He helped to shape our rational worldview. Like, one thing I will give you guys credit for is the fact that you directly challenge the what's the term when you worship science? Like a technocracy? Is that the term for it?
Like I mean, you can say technocracy, but I mean it's just
the sort of like treating of science like it's the gospel, like that in itself is a form of how do I phrase it? Is a form of fanaticism, where you think science is 100%.
You think about it like scientism.
I respect that you can come from an empirical point of view and say, yeah, the world is flat because there is no horizon. If a sailor is out on the ocean, he doesn't see the horizon in the Pacific or whatever, and I get that.
Okay. So let's just examine the things that's been brought forward to validate the Earth being a globe based on the image that you're showing us, right? So you're saying it leads into gravity, right? And you're now going into a little bit of the history of how gravity was explained, and you're talking about like the individual, I guess, of how he came up with that. But so we're still trying to validate the image. I'm not going to try to move away from the premise. The premise is this image that gives you the indication that the Earth is an actual globe. So we're trying to right now validate this image, the content of the image. The content is it looks like a sphere Earth, right? So if it's a sphere Earth, then we're going to get information based on gravity, you say? Is it gravity that's going to give us the indication that it's a globe?
Okay, I'm not saying that, like... Actually, I don't know about that. I'm not too sure if like gravity does actually have anything directly to do with the Earth being round. All I know is gravity is what keeps us from flying away into the outer space.
Okay.
Into the solar system.
So what would validate? Now I'm going to let you do it. Okay, this is a part of critical thinking I think is essential for everybody that wants to validate a point that they're bringing up. So if you're saying something validates this image, the content of it, anyways, of the Earth being a sphere, what would that be?
What would validate the Earth being a sphere?
Yes, in the image.
Yeah. So
because they give you the image, right? I'll put it this way: they're giving you the image. They're saying, "Hey, look, this is the Earth, guys," and you're like, "Cool, bro." But what I'm asking for is, what's the point of validation for you? What's the standard that you're putting that image through that you know it's an actual globe?
All right. One of the main reasons I would like believe in this is because the concept of like physics as a subject. This isn't a sidetrack. This is related. The concept of physics was a thing that was in its infancy, discovered in the 17th century, so the 1600s. With figures like, the dude Leonardo da Vinci and Newton and all these other natural. I wouldn't really call them natural philosophers. I would call them scientists because they had things like microscopes back then. Okay. But I'm not here to debate semantics. Basically, like because of physics and the understanding of how the universe works, gravity in itself would imply that the world is round. Because I know the flat Earth model is.
Oh, well, let's not talk about flat Earth.
I know.
We're trying to validate the image, Hollow. So
I get that.
As much as you're trying to, don't go into flat Earth, like because right now we're trying to examine how you validated.
Yeah, but I'm not like invalidating what I'm saying. Like basically, I know that the current flat Earth model isn't a flat disk. It's like a vast expanse. It's like the overworld in Minecraft or something.
Well, we can talk about that later, but
basically, what I'm trying to say is that gravity in itself. Validates flat Earth indirectly, and a lot of the Renaissance science is influenced based upon these teachings. I'm not going to say that because it's detracting, but Chinese observations of magneticism, and I believe the Chinese were some of the first who invented certain sailing instruments. I mean, the Aurilosphere, whatever the hell it was called that the sailors used, was invented by the Greeks. But yeah, even things like navigation and cartography, a lot of that was influenced because of gravity, which in turn meant that it would encourage the theory of the world being round.
Encourage?
What's someone saying inside chat? Sea oceans connecting me to the vector on the curve surface. Oh, this is an argument about the curvature. But yeah, there's like...
Let's try to focus, right?
Yeah.
Let's go back to the premise. The premise is this image shows that the Earth is a globe, and we're trying to validate that, but we're coming up with gravity. That's what it sounds like to me. Isn't that what you're saying? It seems like all roads lead to gravity.
Yeah, it does. Because a lot of science is predicated upon these, for lack of a better term, assumptions. I am not like Iron Man. I can't just fly into the sky and see the Earth from outer space. To be honest, there's very few human beings who have been there. But this image was taken likely, according to this. Let me see if I can find a specific article. I thought I had the... Yeah, I was already viewing it. I just need to go up. This photograph was taken on December 7th, 1972 by Ron Owens. The names don't matter. Aboard the Apollo 17 spacecraft. And Apollo 17 was one of the big ones, I think. Not the first moon landing one, but it's the 11th and final mission of NASA's Apollo program. Yeah.
Okay.
So... I mean, what are you going to say to the people who are on board this spaceship that took off in the 1970s? Like, were they?
Well, I would talk to them, right? I would sit them down and say, you're about to give an image to the rest of the world, an image of something that you actually saw that they can't see for themselves. So I would encourage you not to give them a belief system. I would encourage you to give them a way to validate the thing that you're going to show them is the truth. So right now they've kind of left you empty-handed, right? They left you holding the bags because you're not able to give a good coherent explanation or validation for the image that you have in your hands, which is the Earth is a globe. So, I mean, I could get into gravity and get you to realize that with gravity, there's no real coherent way to explain how the image is validated. But do you think that we need to go into that?
I think we do, because it's like if you deny one scientific theory, you're invalidating other scientific theories.
Okay, I haven't denied anything so far, right? I'm just only talking.
Okay, so do you believe in gravity?
Well, I want you to actually let's go into what it is first. Let's find out what it is.
Okay.
So, what is gravity, Hollow?
Let me look it up.
Go ahead.
You don't want my opinion, right? Just like
no, I want you to tell me.
Okay.
Yeah, I want you to tell me how gravity validates the image of the Earth being a globe based on the 1972 blue marble.
Okay. And he will look now something what he.
Yeah,
and he will look now something what.
Please don't interrupt.
You're cutting out.
The exposition.
You're cutting out a bit.
Cut out. I muted him. Don't interrupt the exposition.
Okay. Gravital interaction is a fundamental interaction, a fundamental force in nature that appears not to be reducible to more basic interactions. And there's even more subcategories about like the fundamental interactions. I mean, I really don't understand. Like, I don't know if this is metaphysics or just physics in general, but it's really confusing. I'm not going to pretend I'm not going to pretend to understand all this physicist crap.
Okay.
But this force is dominated by combinational blah blah blah. Okay. Combined gravitational reactions of particles, but also includes Earth's rotation. Yeah, I think the rotation of the Earth is a big deal because that's what determines the seasons and a lot of different things. And if the Earth was some giant, like, ever-expanding rectangle that's never been discovered, how the hell would the seasons work?
Yeah, I'm only
getting you flip 360.
Yeah, I'm only getting you to realize that the geometric consequent is understood with gravity. So the shape of the Earth, not the spin.
Mm-hmm. So let me draw you my current model.
Let's try to find somewhere in the information that gravity is causing the shape of the Earth.
Gravitational attracted between primordial hydrogen. Oh yeah, that's the whole thing. Stars are basically giant balls of periodic table elements, because that's like the start of the universe. And this might sound like a sidetrack, but it's not. No, because of the way stars and nebulas work, it's implicit that these are all like cores of like very hot, like I don't know what the fuck is in the center of a planet or a star, but there's some shit there, and it's almost always a ball, like in all the images. Okay, let me draw my model of my flat Earth that I'm currently presenting to you, at least from your kind of perspective.
Why are we going into flat Earth again? I feel like you start veering off from like explaining how the image is validated to showing how flat Earth works. Like
I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be disingenuous or anything.
It sounds like you're not getting on the point proper. We need to get back on the point proper, which is your demonstration of the 1972 blue marble image being validated by gravity. That's the point proper. Okay, so please continue from that point, not on a tangent. Thank you, sir. And if you don't have the answer, it would be best if you say, you know what, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I've been honest about it. Like, I'm not a physicist. I don't understand all the math jargon.
So would you say that you don't know how gravity is demonstrating how the Earth is a globe based on the image that you're showing to validate it?
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to directly articulate it, but if I looked it up, I probably would come across some evidence that would be in my favor.
How about this? Can you say you don't know now how the Earth is a globe based on gravity, and the image is not validated by gravity because you don't know right now?
I don't know right now. Like, my understanding, I did geography in high school, but that's like high school, right? Like, who the hell cares about high school?
I'm fine with that. So the concession is the image is not validated by gravity right now, currently, according to you.
Wait, no. I'm saying that gravity proves the world is round. That's my argument.
Yeah, you say that, but it hasn't. Otherwise, we'd have to go back to gravity and see how you're validating it. But you just finished saying you don't know how gravity is validating the Earth being a globe. You just said that just moments ago.
Yeah. I don't have cognitive. Okay, I get what you're saying. What I'm trying to say is I don't have the words on the tip of my tongue. This isn't my field of expertise.
I'm not saying that you do. I'm not saying that you do. But right now, you don't know if the Earth is a globe based on gravity, given an explanation of the 1972 blue marble.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
So, is there any way other than that can we explain that you know and validate that the 1972 blue marble image is showing that the Earth is a globe on the image? Any other way you can validate it?
I wanted to make this argument. Please don't accuse me of like going on a tangent because it's relevant to the main
issue. When you talk about flat Earth, it is a tangent because, we're trying to get you to realize the image cannot be validated, and you have to do this in your own mind. This was your evidence of the Earth being a globe. It was the evidence. You're like, here it is. The Earth is a globe. 1972 image right here. And I'm like, that's great. I'm glad you feel confident that looks like what the Earth is a globe as, but you can't validate it. There's no information that you're giving us that solidifies that the Earth is a globe based on the image. You went into gravity. You didn't know how to explain it to gravity. I'm like, fine. Is there any other way you could show that the Earth is a globe based on the image you're showing? How did you validate it?
Okay. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of the validation just came from being as a kid, listening to adults all saying the same thing. The world is round. I'm not going to deny that. That's like a lot of kids honesty. In the West are raised that way. Maybe if you went to like an Islamic masjid, they would tell you something like, the Quran says the world is flat. But most people growing up in the West, and probably even the East as well now, are told that the world is round, and that if you believe in flat Earth, you are some sort of mentally ill, deranged individual. Yes. And I'm not going to deny you guys do get discriminated against. I'm not denying that. But I don't know, man. Like I try to make an argument of empiricism.
I'm only here to facilitate a conversation that you can have with yourself. That's what just happened. The interaction was you're trying to reason with yourself as to how it's an actual globe based on the image, and you found out right now that it's just something you've been told since you were young. We all have most people in here have the same story as you. So don't feel like you're alone in this, dude. We all have the same story. We all came from that background. We all came from the Earth being shown to us as a globe, yet there's no way that we validated it in any way. It seems like there's a lot of good information out there, but when we drill down to the information, we don't know. There's no substance behind it. And that's okay, right?
Like the only thing that I don't like about people who like shit on flat earthers is that they basically take scientific word as gospel, and that pisses me off a lot. You really want to live in some sort of technocracy where you believe that NASA is like the gospel of how the universe works? No, you need a variety of sources. You need to use introspection, empiricism, and a bunch of other factors to determine how you perceive the world, physics, metaphysics, whatever.
Yeah, we often argue this point, right? But it seems like it to no avail because the person that we're speaking to is steeped in the idea that is the gospel truth. So you're basically speaking to someone who sounds religious, and I don't know any other way to put it, but that's what it sounds like.
I grew up in a Christian background. The moment I tell people about the Garden of Eden and the woman ate of the apple, they think I'm crazy. But like, since I was brought up,
but I get what you're saying.
I was brought up in kind of an echo chamber, believing in something, it's much easier to believe in. If that makes any sense.
All right. So let me just kind of recap though. Hollow might have had a perspective about the image, the 1972. I'm going to speak to the audience because we're speaking to YouTube Live. So we're speaking to Hollow Theorist about the idea that the image that he was bringing it forth a long time ago, because I think I heard this argument in here, but 1972 blue marble image is not being able to be validated according to him, not anyone else. We're just talking to him about how he's reasoning that the image is supporting that the Earth is a globe. And it sounds to me like we came to a kind of a point where he was looking for gravity as the explanation. There was nothing at this current time that he understood with gravity to be a validation point for the Earth's geometric shape. And it resulted to the very end him saying that, well, we were just brought up with the information, which I agreed with him. Most of us have understood this to be the case. So back to like the image is just something that's not validated by anybody on the Earth that could say this is what the Earth is. So at least for Hollow and his walkthrough, like how he reasoned with himself. But anyway, just giving it back to the audience. I think this point has been kind of run through, and now we can open up the panel. Perhaps anybody else wants to chime in?
Yeah, sure.
And talk about this. All right. Thanks, Hollow, for giving us a conversation. No, you don't have to leave or anything. I'm just
I get that. How many views you got right now?
Oh, it doesn't matter. People can go back.
Okay.
And I'm not saying I don't care. I'm just saying it doesn't matter in the case of like people can actually tune in and find out if they've heard anything on it. Anyway, but I'm going to open up the panel again. The exposition has come to a conclusion, so if you guys want to chime in.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting earlier that you said that mean sea level was a point on a vertical datum. Quite interesting to hear you say that.
Oh, isn't that what it is?
Well, I've heard that said before, and I've heard you fight against it and said it wasn't that.
Really? When did I say
that? For a long
that?
time. Well, whenever Bev has said it, because Bev brought it to you, and I'd said it, you said, no, it's not. That means sea level is not a point on a vertical datum. You claimed it was a horizontal reference in and of itself.
Yeah, no, not in and of itself. No, it's the beginning point where the horizontal plane is constructed. So you can't have a horizontal plane unless you have a point to start from.
Yeah, but it's not a horizontal itself.
Yeah, who said that?
Well, it's always been claimed that way.
No,
by all
I think you guys
Yeah.
You guys, dude, you guys are construing what we say to make it sound like you have a point to reject.
Why did you argue against it then? Why did you say it wasn't? I mean, the last time I spoke to Apocryphon,
give me the
was
calendar date.
against it.
Elder Bear, give me the calendar date when that occurred. Right now.
That's not a rebuttal or a verification.
Oh, yeah, it is. You made a claim. You made a claim, sir, and you can't substantiate it. That's what it sounds like to me.
Not right at this moment. I can't. But
is this the level Earth server at its finest, showing me that it can't prove a point?
It's you having to change your narrative,
sir. You can't come into the ring with me, sir.
Your narrative to now say that mean sea level is a point on a vertical datum.
Yeah. So when
you say sea level,
made a claim.
The sea isn't level, is it?
You made a claim, Elder Bear, and you can't substantiate it. Give me the calendar date, sir, right now.
I can't give you a calendar date, right?
Thank you.
Doesn't mean it didn't happen, and it hasn't happened.
You see all that egg on your face? You might want to go make an omelet with that,
not
sir.
At all. Not at all.
Yes.
No, you know exactly what I'm saying. You're the one who's just trying to create some illusion here, because you know exactly what I'm saying.
Elder Bear, just relax,
exactly
right?
that you fought against this.
You're here.
For a long,
you're here in the
time.
server,
and now here you are, changed your narrative.
He's very triggered.
That same thing.
Elder Bear, relax, dude. Just calm down. You can't give me the calendar date when this occurred. You don't have a point, sir.
He's getting hysterical.
I don't. It's not true at all. I don't need a calendar.
It's not true. No, stop it.
No, let the audience, let the YouTube audience decide. And if they can remember when that's happened,
go ahead.
They'll know for themselves. I mean, I know. Sure. I know several people will know. I know that Sasha...
You sound like a Glober. Oh, somebody out there knows. The scientist knows. Okay, go show me. I want evidence, please. And no evidence to be had, Elder Bear. Only you saying things that sound like you're upset. You're triggered. That's fine, bro. You can be
not
triggered
at all. I'm just pointing out.
You're hearing the number one.
You have to change your narrative.
You're hearing the number one flat Earth server in the world. You're in it right now, sir.
Don't think so. I think you're embarrassing.
You're giving us content, sir. And we're showing people how others come in here with claims and can't support it. And that's what you're doing, sir.
No, I don't have to.
Ouch.
I mean, it's because
That's a big ouch,
You might think that you need to represent that to the audience.
I do.
To think that I need that.
You do. You need evidence, sir. You made a claim. You don't have evidence to back it up.
Exactly what
and now
the guy
you just somebody somewhere out there has the information.
Flat Earther Sasha because you can't.
What? Oh, you're now trying to turn me against my team,
Flat Earth Sasha because you can't have him embarrassing you and saying that stuff either.
Dude, I'm only doing when I have my exposition, I ask for the audience to please bear with me. And sometimes people jump in. Sometimes people jump in and I'm like, dude, I don't need the assistance. Thank you very much. But I'm going to carry the point proper. And then once I'm done, I'll give it back to the audience.
They say that they won't say that.
No,
because
Elder
you want to rewrite.
How do you know? Listen, how do you listen? Okay, let's another point you brought up. How do you know that's true, Elder Bear?
You want it to be.
Elder Bear, how do you know that's true? Let's examine another claim you made. 2 claims now. How do you know that's true? What you just said?
Because I've heard you say it.
Really? When? What's the calendar date, sir?
Yeah. Well, again, I don't have to have a calendar date.
Dude, I don't want to keep going round and round and exposing you, Elder Bear. Have a seat, sir.
24/7, and you can't have these flat earthers around who embarrass you because you've had to change your narrative.
Dude, just relax.
Change your narrative from mean sea level.
It rubs you the wrong way that we're the number one flat Earth
for a long time, and it must be embarrassing.
Program that we got going on.
You're having to incorporate what Bev told you.
Oh, really, dude?
Why you're now having to use it yourself?
Is he your flat Earth Jesus?
Why do you do that?
Dude? Or your true globe Earth Jesus?
No, I'm asking you. Why have you done that?
Praise be Bev. Yeah.
You be honest. You be honest. No,
dude,
you be honest.
Stop writing Bev's jock, dude, and go do your own thing.
You be honest.
Create your own content.
You be honest about why you changed your narrative. Be honest why you changed your narrative.
Sir. What's the calendar date?
Yes, it was.
What's the calendar date?
Doesn't matter. You know,
it doesn't matter. That's your whole claim. You're putting a claim on me that you can't fit because you don't know the calendar date when it occurred. When did the calendar date occur that this change happened?
I don't need a calendar date. I know.
Oh, you do? You're making a claim that it changed? When did it do that?
And everybody else out there knows it too.
Oh, okay. Everybody else appeal to majority. Yep. Go ahead. When did the majority?
Yeah.
When are they able to demonstrate this? Dude, I'm tired of exposing
the old
you,
flat
man.
earthers that you can't have around anymore. Yeah,
Elder Bear?
The old flat earthers you can't have around anymore are spoiling your narrative, your new narrative, because they aren't on yet.
So is this like the top 10
with this
buzzworthy
exposition you're talking about?
Number one will surprise you. I mean, are you here just to create that kind of drama between? Come on,
I'm talking to you.
You like to churn up some drama content for your
that you've been disingenuous, dishonest.
You're breaking up, dude. Yeah, that's great. No, we get that from the Globe side. We get that from the Globe side, dude. So
he got wrecked in another server and then blamed me for it.
He's getting wrecked here. Like, you can't even prove the calendar date. Like,
you remember when Rich Evans went to another channel and started pinging everyone? Elder Bear did that. To me, on a server, I didn't have any perms at all anyway. In a channel, I couldn't even post in. This guy's gone. His mind and his logic are completely gone.
He gave it over to King Bev, dude. Like,
no, even worse than that. He's like imagine going to a channel that someone can't respond in, pinging them, then wondering why they can't respond while having that person blocked anyway. This is a mindset. His mind is so fractured and broken, he can't follow one thing to the next. It's say something, not understand what he's saying, contradict it anyway, and repeat over and over and over. You see him do it today. Everyone knows something that he can't even find. Now he's going to ask again. Why? No one did.
You're stirring the pot, bro. Like, that's all you do. Well, who's changed it? Show me the calendar date when it's changed, Elder Bear. What's the calendar date?
I'm telling you, the people who know about this know what I'm talking about. They won't need a date.
Dude, all right.
The older just take your little. Like Sasha,
your gimmick didn't work. Let's just put it this way: your gimmick didn't work. You thought it was going to be a banger.
All of those people.
Yeah, all of those people. Everybody in the world. All of them. All those guys over there.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're smiling because you don't know what your gimmick failed, bro. Once again.
Yeah. No.
You got egg on your face.
Between you and me.
That's a gimmick.
No, you know. You try to do something. You might be able to pretend to the audience that I'm disingenuous.
Oh, really? You are.
Always claimed it's
When's the calendar date when the narrative changed?
Now you're
Show me the calendar date, dude. Right now
you're using it. It's changed.
Show me the calendar date that narrative changed.
Largely.
No one's used anything from Bev at any time for any reason.
Bro, I've been saying this. I've been saying this for a long time.
Sea level is a point on a vertical datum.
So
That's
what?
Never been yours. You fought against it.
What are you talking about, dude? I've always said.
Now you're using it. Your narrative has changed.
No. You know what it is? What it is, Elder Bear, is that this is the first time. This is the first time that you heard about it. It's the first time that you heard about it, so it's coming to you like brand new.
You said it before. No. You said it months ago. About a month.
Yeah, when? Give me the calendar date.
First time I heard you say it.
Give me the calendar date.
You know, you've had to change.
You've already said months. Then give us the calendar date when it occurred.
Admit it, and tell us why. And what the new narrative is. So the flat earthers know where they stand.
All right, man.
So you can't prove your point. Where they stand.
I've given you the opportunity to go ahead and show when this changed.
Ask Sasha what he would say.
We're not gonna ask, dude. Just go away, Elder Bear. If you got nothing to prove.
Yeah.
Well, you had your chance. I gave you the floor. I gave you the floor. Prove it. If you're saying something that's true, then just prove it.
I don't care about proving it.
There you go. There, well, muted.
Everybody else in here knows.
Yeah, check this out. Here's Indio on 24/7 in 2019, talking about the St. Lawrence Seaway and bringing it from 700 feet above sea level through a series of locks and canals that bring it down to sea level. This is a talking point way before Bev was even part of the conversation.
That's what I've been telling him, man.
He wasn't even here in 2019.
I don't know what the guy, está loco. Here's
this right here. Indio posts a Great Lake sailing, St. Clair to Detroit time lapse, showing a system of locks that slowly drop the ship down to sea level. 700 feet, down to 0 feet. This is a concept that Bev does not understand. Water. He does not understand the physics of water. He doesn't understand elevation. These are things he's deeply confused by.
To the audience, Elder Bear, this might trigger you.
Not level, not horizontal.
Yeah, look at this, okay? Just I want you to pay attention.
Brother.
I've been saying this.
Sea level's not level.
I've been saying this forever. This has been my point proper for when I explain this. I've utilized this, and maybe people have heard me say this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now for the audience so that you can see. Look at what I just posted.
Called damage control audio. Remember that.
Damage control. No, I'm just going to show you what this is.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is?
He doesn't.
I can't see what you're doing. Shut up, Crit. We don't need your troll stuff in there. What about it?
He doesn't know what that is.
An elevation profile. An elevation profile.
Yeah.
So do you see those numbers going vertically up?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Okay. At the very lowest number.
Yeah, because
it's not a number, actually it's 0, but you see that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, from that point, horizontally, outward, there's numbers also, right? Distance.
Yeah, but you don't have a horizontal.
Yeah, dude, I'm only showing you, look at this.
No, I know where you're going.
So,
you don't
horizontal.
I already said what I've said.
The horizontal position where it meets the vertical. Do you see that point? There's a little corner. It's like the bottom left-hand corner. Do you see that bottom left-hand corner where there's 2 zeros? You see that 2 zeros?
Yeah, but you've got 2 lines there.
Do you see the 2 zeros? Yes or no?
I can see 2 zeros, yeah.
Okay, so that point right there is the vertical point at which you take mean sea level at, and every point above that is elevation going up, right? You see those numbers going up? 200, 400.
On the vertical datum.
And
the vertical datum.
And what we have here is a horizontal line going outward. That's distance.
No,
yes. You say no all you want. Like Neo, here when Morpheus would
it's high tide and low tide. Of course it's vertical. High tide, low tide.
Yeah, so here's what I've been saying this whole time. That I had to mute him because he's just triggered right. He's like Neo here when Morpheus was telling him that he's just a battery, right? So this is Elderbear right now. He thinks that Bev came up with this, okay? This is what he's saying. Bev came up with it. He's the one that says it's the vertical point. This is what elevation profile has been prior to Bev's, investigation into it. I've known about this forever. This elevation profile that shows you the different numbers that represent elevation change, that has been known already with elevation profiles, in which I've been talking about this whole time. So with the numbers that go straight horizontally, it's distance. With the numbers that go up is the elevation change that something would have, and you put that on a profile. That profile shows where the 2 zeros are. That's the vertical point at which it's taken from, and the horizontal is the distance inland. That's flat Earth, sir. That's flat Earth, and whether you and all the rest of the Bevites are going to be disagreeing with, that's showing that we have to have that flat baseline to get elevation change. Otherwise, if it was a curved surface, we wouldn't be able to do that. But in fact, it's efficient and it's understood that we have a horizontal baseline. Otherwise, all those points along the horizontal line would have been curved. I've always been saying this, as this has never changed, except for you thinking that Bev came up with it and then everybody's taking it from Bev. I'm sorry, but this is just an elevation profile. I've only been talking about this always. There, the air is now clear. You can unconfuse yourself in thinking that Bev came up with it and everybody's taking it from him. That's all. So you're not going to tell Gemsy how you get elevation profiles with using a horizontal plane. Because that's what you need. You need a flat Earth to explain elevation change. You need a flat Earth. Now, if you don't have a flat Earth, then tell him what you have then. Tell Gemsy, please.
You have a horizontal reference which tells you the Earth isn't flat.
A what? Say it again.
You have you can establish a horizontal reference to show you the Earth isn't flat.
Wait a minute. You said you can establish a horizontal reference? What did you use to do that?
Well, there's tools to do that. But
well, what tool, sir?
What tool? One point, isn't it?
Be specific.
One point,
what tool?
Isn't it?
What tool?
A tool that will establish a horizontal reference.
What tool?
A tool called a level.
Okay, you use a level. Now, what does the level reference?
It references two points generally.
You're breaking up.
At least.
He doesn't know. There's no point in asking him. He doesn't know.
It references... Shut up, Crit. What do you know?
I know you need to try thinking. That's why I definitely know. You need to think. Try to think. Right. You just contradicted again. You said you don't want to talk to me, then you talk to me again. Try to think.
What is the level reference, Elder Bear?
He doesn't know.
It's what you establish.
Yeah, what is
you
the
said
level?
You've always said it was mean sea level.
Yeah, the tool that you're using, what does it reference?
Points of equal elevation.
Points of equal elevation. How did you get that? Using the tool? That's circular. What is the tool referencing to establish level, sir?
It's referencing points of equal elevation.
How did you get points of equal elevation again? I'm going to show you how your argument's circular. How did you get points of equal elevation, sir?
By using a tool that will establish
it's circular. I'm not asking for what your circular argument is telling you.
I want to know a tool.
What is the tool referencing? I want you to say it out loud for the audience.
It's referencing points of equal elevation.
No, it's not referencing itself. I'm sorry. No, it's not referencing itself. You have to reference something. No, you're going to say it so everybody, loud and proud, so everybody can hear you. What is the level referencing? The tool.
I've told you.
I'm going to drag it out of you, Elder Bear. You're going to say it.
The equal elevation.
No, that's circular.
At least 2 points.
You can't say that you get equal elevation because you're using the tool to do that. So then if you're referencing the tool, what the tool is referencing is itself. It's not, it's circular. The tool is referencing something. I'm going to wait. I'm going to let you writhe a little bit because you don't know the answer and we do.
Yes, it's referencing each point of the level.
No. It's not referencing itself. You have a level in your hand. What is the tool referencing? What is it holding rigidity to? What is it holding rigidity to, Elder Bear?
Horizontal.
Yeah. How do you obtain horizontal? Come on. You're close.
With a tool that establishes a horizontal reference.
No. The tool itself is referencing horizontal, but what is horizontal referencing? Come on. You're there.
Points of
Thank
equal
you.
elevation.
It's the Earth, isn't it?
From a point on Earth, you can measure.
Oh, so it's the Earth you represent. So the tool references horizontal, which references the Earth, which means the Earth is flat. Thank you very much for playing the game.
No, it doesn't.
No, we don't need you any longer. Thank you so much.
The opposite is nonsense. Oh, Salvador, welcome.
Hey guys, how are you all?
What, Salvador, you've been here before?
No.
Brings you to the FEVC.
Basically, I'm kind of there on the precipice of the Flat Earth Society, but I still need to ask a few questions sometimes, but I came here to just hear some of it.
The what? The what is that? The FE Society? Is that like a cult somewhere?
No, I want to join the FE Society.
You want to join?
Wrong place.
Is this not Flat Earth?
Oh no, you're looking for the Flat Earth Society. That's a Glober website. You need to go there. You said Flat Earth Society before, so you're looking for a different place altogether. That's where Globers hang out.
Oh, I didn't realize I was going to get mocked for trying, but okay.
Yes, you will.
Okay.
I mean, just address the realist level. Don't worry about cults or societies, you know?
Yeah, no one's mocking you, bro.
Yeah, guys, let's give him one mulligan. He may not know what the Flat Earth Society is, so go ahead.
Yeah, the Flat Earth Society people think they're on a disc that's like an elevator. on an infinite elevator upwards.
With dinosaurs flying off of it.
What is it then?
Some sort of weird psyop, something to muddy the waters of what we're talking about, that the Earth isn't curving.
No, but I mean, what are you talking about?
Oh, Earth is flat.
Reality. I'm not going to give you some omniscient God's eye point of view and tell you that you're on a disc that's on an elevator.
Yeah, we talk about the physics of water, gas pressure, things that make sense. Not the globe nonsense.
You guys have become a lot more nuanced.
Salvador, we debunk the globe nonsense.
Right. So you guys have basically become a lot more nuanced in recent times, it seems.
I mean, water is nothing new. It's been here, I guess, since creation. It's just what it is. It's not my opinion or your opinion. Water is water.
Right. How do you explain the fact that when I look up, it looks like I'm in a ball?
Wow.
Wait, what was the question? What's the ball?
So, like, when I look up out the sky, I feel like I'm in a ball.
Oh, wait. When you look at the sky, you see that you are on a ball. When you look at the sky, you don't see yourself on a ball. You see the celestials.
I just feel like I'm in a ball.
You feel like you're. What are you actually feeling when that tells you that you're on a ball? What is that feeling that you're
It's my instinct and my eyes, I guess.
So you're observing what? What are you looking at exactly? Can you visualize what you're saying?
It's the sky.
You see the clouds, you see birds, you see airplanes.
I see blue in the sky.
You see the blue in the sky, and that tells you that you're on a ball.
Yeah, he's done. He's starting to sing.
Morphing into Louis Armstrong. Bro, start over again.
Yeah, go back to the ground. Come back to your senses.
Okay.
Yeah, ground yourself.
Basically, well, I'll ground you, you piece of shit, if you tell me that again. But anyway.
Oh!
Listen here, buddy boy.
Calm down, little boy.
Listen, I'll take you all on. I don't care.
That sounds gay.
Yeah, it sounds really gay.
Salvador, come on, bro.
He wants a train run on him.
Okay, that was weird.
Bro.
Notice that you're embarrassed to answer any questions that will give anybody the information that you are on top of a globe.
Yeah, I did.
That's gonna get you X'd out of here. See ya, Salvador.
Salvatore.
Violation.
Yeah, that's way different from me asking what would happen if you changed our tag name.
Yo, why did everybody suddenly stop talking? What the heck?
They've been waiting for you.
No, I was just about to say, you're supposed to be here, Jimsy. I just heard you talking last. Everybody got hella quiet after that. This is supposed to be my morning entertainment.
Well, there's always breaks during the day, and people gotta do things, Eventually, I won't be here.
What movie is that from? Are you not entertained? Gladiator?
No, it's weird. You go from like, oh, dude, when you guys were talking to that guy, by the way, what was his name? Something Bear. I forget what his name was. Elder Bear. When you guys were talking to Elder Bear, like earlier when I hopped in here, it was because my daughter had woken up, and so I brought her up into the bed, and she snuggled until she fell asleep. So I fell asleep, and then I started involving Like what you guys were talking about started incorporating itself into my dream. So there was a character named Elder Bear in my dream. I can tell you it was freaking weird. And then when I woke up to you guys interrogating him, it was so funny. I was like laughing. Luckily I was on mute, but that was hilarious.
It was like a nightmare.
Dude, it's the same old thing since freaking way back when. And I mean way back when. Like, their arguments and debates, I mean, the arguments have changed a little bit, but their debate style is the same fucking thing. When they know, none of them, dude. Why is it that none of them can have like an honest conversation?
Because they're identifying with the Earth being a globe, and they're fighting against that identity. They just can't accept a world where that's not true. So they'll do whatever it takes to, clutch their pearls tightly. It's psychological, a person. That's what it is.
Well, I know, but like the more I think about it, it is freaking weird, man. If somebody at work is like asking me things like, "Hey, did you talk to this person?" Yes. Did you say this? Yes. Did you ask them about this? No, I don't think I did. Why? Why did you not ask them about it? I don't like. It's just that easy if you're asking somebody questions. But instead, with these guys, you ask them the same set of questions, and although their questions contradict themselves and allude ultimately to one answer, you guys are pretty good at that, narrowing the tunnel. Although it alludes to one simple answer, they fucking hop around it every time. And it's like a pride thing too, man. Like. I don't know why all of them have that ego and pride that they cannot. It's like more than the cog dis, man. It's the ego and the pride that they cannot let it go.
It's on epic proportion level, though. It's like not on the same level as somebody would be prideful. It's a different kind of pridefulness because they now know that because we're live streaming on YouTube, that this is being recorded. So, I mean, if they don't know something, they're not going to tell you outright. So they'll do everything that they can to obfuscate the point. And all we're doing is just having like exposition on how they either know or not know something. It just seems very difficult for somebody to be genuine these days. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah. It just kind of blows my mind, man. It's just strange.
Imagine going through 10 years of it, man. Just listening to conversations day in and day out where some people, you can hear it's almost like someone's thought process as to why they would even produce any information of why they think something is true. And then you go down the line of logic, right? Okay, so you're saying this is true. What makes you think that? What is the supportive information that gives that rise to how you know that's true? And then you get like just them scrambling to try to find information on the internet. They're just like, well, hold on, let me look. And you're like, okay, go ahead. They don't find it sufficiently support their point, and then they get upset. Like the young lady that I was speaking to earlier, she got, really mad because she wanted a flat Earth model, and I know that's a bit taboo in our circles because it's like they're asking for something that shows specifically a visualization of the thing in question, right? So I gave her one. I showed her, look at an elevation profile. That's going to describe exactly what we're talking about. And once she realized that, she's like, well, that shows that it's just more efficient to describe it that way. I'm like, yeah. You think a curved surface would do that? No. So because of that, it's a depiction of what you requested, which is a flat Earth model. There it is. You can see it in an elevation profile. Now you can distinguish how we know from sea level how we get elevation change. You need a horizontal baseline. That's flat Earth. It's the horizontal baseline that we reference in regards to the nature of reality. So, and then from there, it was just an epic spiral as to how that's not the case because we're too small and it's a giant planet and then she casted her, idea onto me saying that I'm making all these illusions of Earth. I'm like, dude, this is how you're practically seeing the Earth around you.
Before I fell asleep, didn't she say that you were gaslighting her, or am I mistaken?
No.
She yeah.
She said I was gaslighting her.
That's fucking. It sounds like she was spewing a bunch of shit she didn't even know about. Because that's not gaslighting, man.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. What I've been wanting to is just kind of give good exposition on how somebody either knows or not knows something based on their said information. and we can critique it whether or not like it's an actual founded information that we can test and verify. All of us here, like we're the peer reviewers, right, so to speak. We can listen to what she's got to present, and then we can go over that information and see, does it lead us to a road of knowledge or just belief? And she was just presenting things that give people a belief about things, right? Like she was depicting the Earth as a globe with this cartoon ball, and she's like, that's the Earth. I'm like, okay, so that's what you think it is. Now describe in a real practical sense of how that actually is what we experience. And it just couldn't be done. So
yeah,
we're looking for people that can articulate their point in a really well thought out form. It just like, well, the globe Earth doesn't have any coherence to the physical world. It's an imagination, and I think people are arguing from a very credulous point of view because they want that to be the case.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, the best that I could say, man, is if they really want an idea of a flat Earth model, what you'd have to tell them is like, okay, let's go back in history. Here's some of the maps and models that were put together at the time before everything was what's the word? Perverted out of context into a fucking globe, and everybody was lied to. So as far as we know, that's kind of like where we got before they switched over to the globe model, the fake model that that they lied to everybody about. So I mean, realistically,
the word that you were looking for was misrepresented.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah, misrepresented. That's fine. But like,
because remember,
essentially,
they tell you water. Look at water. That water that we observe in reality that presents itself to be and behave a certain way. They grab it and misrepresent it on a sphere, doing what it doesn't do in reality. So it's a misrepresentation of what it is.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's just, and that's another good point. Is like they can't even stick like. Once you guys, and I've heard this so many times, I've been around for years too. Maybe, I don't know if I've been around for, hold on. No, that would make me 15. I haven't been around for, no, that wouldn't. I don't even know how old I am anymore. Give me 1 sec. Has it really been? No, there's no way. No, it's been pretty close to 10 years, I would say. I would say I've only been here probably like 9 or, I would say about 8 or 9 years, 8 maybe. But I've heard all of the debates, and it's like freaking. It's the same things they used to do, and once you narrow them down to like a very obvious, like the long distance arguments and whatnot, anything to do with water, like they just once you narrow them down, all of a sudden they switch it up. They're like, okay, well, let's just talk about something else. And dude, over the years, if you've watched like the argument standpoints, it's crazy. It's literally crazy. And I've been here since like Gemsy was one of the first few people that I actually started talking to in the community, because when I first joined, everybody thought like this was freaking 10 years ago. I don't know if you remember this, Gemsy, but when I first joined, I must have asked some fucking Glober ass questions because everybody thought I was a Glober. Like they were so in like a defense mode that like they started accusing me of this, and I was like, no, hold on. I was like, I don't know if I'm wording this right, but like it was so funny, man. But anyways, no, I've heard all of the debates, man, and as soon as you narrow them down on something like that and you finally feel like you're about to put their feet to the fire, they just change the subject. And over time we've gotten a lot better at keeping them on subject and like, hey, no, we're not going to go there, answer this question, until they freaking spiral, cuss you out, say a couple random things, and then freaking leave or get muted. Like, it's the same old thing with these guys.
I remember when you joined and you were asking some questions. It was more like, I don't remember specifically, but like any other person will have these regular questions that most people used to ask and ask normally, and people were kind of giving you some pushback. But what the Globers do is that they wanna cross the bridge without walking towards it, without reaching the bridge. They already come to a conclusion, They already tell you we have the conclusion Earth is globe, but they skipped natural laws, the physics of water. They skipped their senses. They threw away their senses. They threw away observations. They threw away everything that we can check, demonstrate, verify, and they already crossed the bridge in their mind that Earth is globe without taking all of the other variables they will have to check in a chronology step by step, be able to come to the conclusion Earth is a globe. But they don't do that because if they actually go and check, their conclusion is going to be that it's not a globe. That's why they skip all of the steps.
Yeah, and they do get embarrassed a lot of the time once you tell them that they're presupposing a globe. Like, to a lot of their answers or mathematics requirements, it's always this plus this, assuming that the Earth is a globe, then this. And it's like they always go, no, it's just this plus this. And it's like, yes, plus assuming that the Earth is a globe, then this. It's like you can't. Oh my god, it's freaking funny, man. And yeah, no, initially I just had questions that I think pretty much anybody else would have had, because like I had watched, dude, I was like, before all of this, it's so embarrassing to talk about, but like I was into like the freaking ancient aliens and this and that. And then I remember one night, like I was laying down and like a YouTube video from either Mark Sargent or Eric Dubay, I can't remember which one, was coming on, and I just remember telling myself over and over again, like, there's no fucking way. Like, no, there's no fucking way. I must have said that like 100 times before. I went through all of the videos, man, as many as I could. And then one day I was like, I wonder if there's like a Discord for this shit. And so I started looking it up, and that's when I came across this Discord, or not this one, but 24/7 back in the day. And then when I was asking questions and whatnot, yeah, people were a little bit like taken back, like, oh, who the fuck asked that kind of shit? I was like, well, I don't know.
All right, we got Salad Volcano that just jumped in. Salad Volcano, are you there?
Hi.
Welcome. So go and get on your mic. Go and get on your mic. Come on,
Gotta do something pretty bad for me to block you.
Nayef, come on, brother.
Stop playing around.
You playing games, bro. Yeah, I know. Well, so what, dude? Get on the mic.
Oh man, text wall.
I got right. They got people sleeping. Dude, get your ass on the mic. Shut up, bitch. Oh, I got people. They're sleeping
So
around.
are you confused by my question, or like, why do I need to get on for you to answer the question?
Oh shit!
Yo, we're live.
We are live.
His first hold on, dude. Hold on, dude. I want to let these guys know who they're dealing with. The first message you sent me is the Earth is not flying like a fucking frisbee through space.
Yeah, I don't know.
There is no outer space. Have you seen pictures that like people in the space take?
Dog, I do not know you. No clue what the fuck you're going on about.
Good, I had you blocked.
Cool.
You're naive, right?
I don't know what I did to you, but
yeah, go click on my name, right? Type message, and you can see the history of us talking to each other.
Yeah, I don't have a message history with you. I literally just checked 2 seconds ago. Anywho, do you want to answer my question?
You don't have a what? You don't have a what?
With you.
Want me to take screenshots? Do you want me to record my screen doing it?
I mean, if it bothers you that much,
it doesn't bother me. But I don't like liars. That bothers me.
I'm not a liar. I literally just.
You are lying. So just for the audience, I'm gonna stop this line of inquiry and drop it, and we're gonna explain eclipses to you. But that's just for the audience. We're dealing with a known liar. So carry on.
There's no carry on. I asked a question. So you guys have an answer?
When you say explanation, what do you mean by that exactly? We want to make sure we give you the right thing, so you can't say that's not good enough.
How do eclipses work according to the flat Earth?
Oh, how do they work?
Yes.
They work exactly like the solar cycle predicts they work.
Can you just like use your words and explain it?
I just did. We predict eclipses using something called the Saros cycle.
I'm not talking about predicting. I'm saying.
Oh, the causal mechanism? Is that what you want?
All right, basically, let me dumb it down for you. Explain.
No, you want the causal mechanism. What causes eclipse? Is that what you want?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, nobody knows that.
Do you guys know anything?
No, you don't know.
No,
that.
you don't know that either.
You say nobody knows, which means you are part of the nobody.
Look, this is like the 10th time I've been here. Ask a very simple question.
You don't know, dude. Nobody. We just told you nobody knows. There's people that claim they know, but the evidence says their explanation that there's 3 balls in outer space, 1 ball is blocking the other ball, can't possibly be true.
So your entire flat Earth model is just based on like
what model?
Has any answers?
That wouldn't be a model of flat Earth anyway. That would be a model of the sun and the moon.
Conspiracy, your theory, whatever.
Who brought up conspiracy?
Holy
Are you here just to push a narrative?
I'm not pushing.
You're here just to push a narrative, aren't you? You're here just to push a narrative, aren't you?
You have a victim complex.
No, you didn't. No, I'm just observing what you're doing because you're not responding to anything I'm saying. Nobody mentioned conspiracy either, so why did you even bring that up?
Because model wasn't a good word for you, so it's like, okay, we can call it the flat Earth theory, the flat Earth conspiracy. I was just spouting out other words that would appease you.
Yeah, you're used to
whatever
spouting
you
off,
call
aren't
it,
you?
flat Earth.
Now you're the victim to appease me. Oh my God. Okay. The heliocentric explanation of eclipses, first of all, 1, they don't use the heliocentric model to predict when eclipses happen because it doesn't work. 2, okay, it's geometrically impossible, certain types of eclipses, selenian eclipses, sunrise eclipses, sunset eclipses. The round shadow on the moon shouldn't be observed because the moon's supposed to be a curved surface, so you would get a sine wave, S-curves, it crosses the meridian. So, I mean, do you want it just to keep going while the current mainstream explanation can't possibly be true because it's a geometric impossibility?
I just thought after existing for
address what I just said.
I am, and I'm just simply saying that I assume that after the flat Earth group,
you're not addressing what I just said. How it's geometrically impossible in the heliocentric model.
What's your response, Nayef?
What the fuck what kind of fucking...
The 3 balls in a row, that explanation is impossible.
Okay.
Because we observe phenomenon called an eclipse, which it can't be 3 balls in a row.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example, right? So I'll give you an example of the selenian eclipse, how it's geometrically impossible, and you should understand it very quickly. Okay?
I never said
you see the moon on one side. You see the moon on one side, right? You see the sun on the other side. They're both above the horizon.
Yep.
The shadow of the Earth is supposed to be on the moon, but the moon and the sun are both over your head, and the thing that's casting the shadow is under your feet. That's geometrically impossible.
Okay. Cool. I'm not disagreeing with that.
So that's why I said nobody knows, because the current explanation is geometrically impossible. So if they claim they know, they don't.
There isn't a syzygy that's occurring, is what he's trying to tell you, with 3 balls aligning themselves. So their explanation to you as to what's causing the eclipse is not true. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand that.
And you're like begging us to lie to you too.
I'm not begging you to lie. I'm just simply stating, as I tried 10 times earlier, I would have thought that after your whole group existing for as long as it has, you eventually would have came up with some sort of, albeit
academia doesn't have a good way to tell you something's true. What do you think?
After 2,000 years,
dude, come on, bro. Let's get with the times. Do you
actually
understand?
More than 2,000 years, because eclipses have been predicted since 2000 BC, so 4,000 years.
Yeah, people don't know the causal mechanism, what makes this happen. We just see the effect of something occurring in the sky, Nayef.
Listen, go protest in front of MIT, dude. Go protest in front of MIT. It's been 4,000 years since they've had eclipses. You guys don't know how they work.
Yeah,
That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it should be. If that's not what you're talking about, it should be, because people need to realize that the causal mechanism behind eclipses is not founded anywhere to be true.
Dog,
none of it, sir.
Jumping into whataboutism.
That's the whole
It
point.
isn't whataboutism.
You're asking
I told
us.
you the answer. Nobody knows, and then you want to go into your narrative like, why don't you have an answer? You're not actually caring because you don't care that they don't have an answer.
Did I say that? Or did I just ask you?
Yeah, okay. We're telling you the answer.
You keep
the answer
going
is
into
nobody
narrative
knows.
bullshit. You keep going into narrative, dude.
Nobody knows, bro.
Okay. Do eclipses determine what the shape of the Earth is? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, then why are we even talking about this? Why would we go find an explanation for eclipses when it's irrelevant to the topic?
The same reason you guys were talking about working out like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, the causal mechanism is unknown by anyone.
It's because it
Nayef.
doesn't prove anything.
Nayef, yeah, it doesn't, because not only does it not prove anything, it's not even like you can't even give us the causal mechanism in mainstream explanations. Mainstream doesn't give you a causal mechanism. They're telling you that this is their best guess.
I can tell you why.
This is their best guess, dude. That's all you have is their best guess.
No, dude. Okay.
No. Yeah. Dude.
You have to use a flat Earth model to predict them when they happen. Yeah, that's right, dude.
You guys one question and all your panties in a
heliocentric model can't.
Acting like
did you hear me when I said the heliocentric model can't predict when they happen? That they use a flat Earth for that?
Every 3 times you said it, yes, I heard you.
Okay, so we're satisfied with that we have a quote-unquote working model. The causal mechanism, in fact, can never actually be determined scientifically. How would we determine that with an experiment, Nayef?
I don't know. I'm not the one.
Okay. Well, I mean, it can any...
But it happens.
Hold on, dude. Just think about it.
People would have a theory, would they not?
Dude, a theory of what? You need an experiment. You can't have a theory without an experiment.
Okay, a hypothesis.
Hold on, Nayef, 1 second.
Okay, the hypothesis. Okay, here's the hypothesis. We observe natural phenomenon. Hold on, I'm gonna walk through them real quick, dude.
Your mic is going in, like when you talk, Indio. It's like it sounds like.
How about now?
Yeah, your voice is like blurting out like the it's.
Is it better now?
Hold on, Nayef. No, it's hold on. Give a sound check.
Sounds better. Sound check. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, try. It's like when you get a little like closer or something. It's like it drowns out. It just like fades back.
How about this now?
Yeah, that's better. Whatever.
Okay, better. All right. Cool.
Nave's your mic's awful too. So
yeah, get closer to your mic, Nayef.
I fixed it. So we're going to walk through the scientific method really quick. The observed natural phenomenon is an eclipse. We want to know what causes it.
Okay.
So the observed natural phenomenon is our dependent variable. Now we need an independent variable that we can very manipulate to figure out what the cause of the eclipse is. And we need to control the other variables which could possibly conflict. What do they call it? Confound the results. So what is the independent variable that we can manipulate to cause eclipse that would change how eclipses happen? Oh, you can't do that, right? We can't manipulate the moon. We can't manipulate. Yeah, it's impossible. We can't manipulate the moon, right? We can't manipulate whatever we think is the cause. It's not possible to make scientific hypotheses which are rigorous and conform to the scientific method with astronomical bodies. It's not possible. So whatever story anybody tells you, it's just a story.
I mean, sure. Jesus Christ. You guys are
I know the story makes you feel good inside and it gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling. But
what? What story are you talking about?
The story that there's 3 space balls blocking each other.
Yeah, I'm be real with you, bud. I don't think a single, like, quote unquote globe earther hears the quote story about the balls in space and feels all warm and fuzzy inside. I don't think anybody cares that much.
No, you feel all warm and fuzzy because
I don't.
Not knowing hurts you inside.
I don't feel warm and fuzzy. I am completely indifferent.
So when I tell you nobody knows what causes eclipses and there's no way to ever know, that doesn't bother you at all?
I mean, a little bit because you're playing dumb.
I rest my case. Checkmate.
Yep. He just made his point.
It can bother me, but it also, getting my answer won't make me feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
But why does it bother you?
That means hold on, dude, because you have the opposite feeling of not knowing, right? If you do think you know, then you feel better than if you don't think you know.
Right? I wouldn't feel any better for knowing at all.
You just said it would bother you if you didn't know.
Yes, and those are two different things.
What?
Feeling good about getting an answer, we can agree, is different than being upset with someone because they're claiming you can never get an answer.
Yeah, that's because you want an answer to the thing that you already think you have right now. So you feel good thinking you feel good thinking that you have an explanation according to the globe explanations that they give you, right? You got 3 balls in space. But now when you're asking flat Earth,
I'll tell you right now. I don't know why you're putting words in my mouth.
Yeah, because you're acting all like, okay, so we're saying
words in my mouth.
Saying that nobody knows that what's the causal mechanism. The causal mechanism is not known. So now that's causal mechanism is not known, you're like, well, just you flat earthers you can't explain anything. Like you get upset with that. It's like, why, bro? If you only have an explanation that can't be
because it's a cop-out answer.
What are you talking about, dude? What a cop-out?
It's a cop-out answer.
Yeah, us telling you that we don't know? How is that a cop-out, bro? Nobody knows the causal mechanism.
Yeah, and I just walked you through proving nobody can ever know. How is it a cop-out?
What do you mean no one can ever know? That's not how...
You can't manipulate the required variables to know the cause of the effect.
It's pretty simple, Nayef.
The scientific method has the scientific method.
You guys don't get it.
No, the scientific method, right? You know what that is, right?
I know the scientific method. Yes.
So it establishes cause and effect relationships, right?
Yep.
Okay, and you do this by manipulating the independent variable and measuring an effect on the dependent variable. Your dependent variable eclipses.
You can't.
How do you manipulate the independent variable?
You don't.
Why are you over talking me?
Variable.
Okay,
you just
tell me.
Question.
If you don't manipulate the independent variable, all you'll ever have is a correlation. You'll never have the cause.
No, the point of the independent variable is that you can't manipulate it. Or maybe I have it backwards.
You have it backwards. You have it backwards. You can manipulate it.
So the dependent variable is what you can't manipulate?
No, you're trying to see the reaction in the dependent variable. So what you're saying is we see something happen, right? That's the effect. You see something occurring. You want to know what's causing that effect. So you have to manipulate something to cause the effect that you see. You get what I mean?
The independent variable in this experiment to explain the eclipses on.
Right. Okay. So for example, if we're talking about the lunar eclipse, the independent variable that causes the shadow on the moon would be the Earth. You'd have to manipulate the Earth in some way to see if it is causing the effect.
You didn't need to grab the Earth itself. You would create a model.
Yeah.
Based on whatever your fucking belief is, whether it's a flat Earth model, globe Earth model, whatever.
Yeah. That's great. That's great.
The heliocentric brother. Okay, great. I'm glad you said that. The heliocentric model doesn't work to predict eclipses.
Yeah.
So
I'm not saying did I say predict?
Doesn't
explain why it takes the shape it does.
Okay.
I'm not saying I never said predict.
I actually already covered that.
I'm not talking about predicting at all. I do not give a shit about predicting.
You just said that.
I never said predict. I said explain. No,
you just said predict, dude.
Yeah, 2 seconds ago to explain to you that I'm not talking about predictions.
Okay. You said you would manipulate the position and then you would make a model. You didn't say all that.
Yeah, I said those. Yeah, I didn't say predict.
Yeah, you're a liar, dude.
That's not predict. Do you know what the word? Did you just repeat back to me?
What do models do?
That didn't include the word predict, and somehow still believe that the word predict was in there?
What do models do? Do they make predictions? How do you know if the model is accurate? It has to make
sometimes models are used to make predictions. That's not their exclusive use.
They have no other use.
No, they don't. What? Yes, they do. Are you crazy?
Okay. Tell me a model and a use that's not predictions. Go for it.
Epic failure, dude.
Walking through this.
Give me the utility of a model that doesn't make predictions.
Let's see what he got.
Just write down some frickin' numbers on paper.
It doesn't. It can explain.
Models don't explain anything.
Oh my god.
They only describe.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Are you fucking stupid? Did you just repeat?
Yeah.
Did you just say the same word to me? Did you just say two of the same word? Holy shit! That's
Explain
impossible.
and describe are not the same thing. Describe is what is.
Explain is
how and why.
Oh, dude, you don't know.
They're super fucking similar, dude. Holy shit!
Similar? Yeah. What's different words? They're all super similar, dude. Do you believe in the law of identity? Are you like irrational too?
Don't come at me with that bullshit when 10 minutes ago I never said the word predict and you repeat it back to me.
When
and
you say model, bro. When you say model,
no, you can't move the goalpost. You can't move the goalpost, buddy.
When you say
no, he claimed that I said the word predict and I said it predicts, and then he repeated back to me everything I fucking said, and not once in that statement did the word predict come up.
Yeah,
until later, and I admitted that I used the word predict.
We make a model and to see which one is. Fill it in, dude. You said it.
That's not what I said. No, I said to explain.
No, you didn't say explain.
Holy shit! It's like you're just waiting for your turn to say some stupid shit.
No, you didn't say explain, buddy. We record this. Did you know that? That you're being recorded right now?
Yes, I know I'm being recorded. It's only I see the 5 viewers
what's the
you
model
have.
for? Yeah, if it's not predicting where the lunar eclipse is going to be and how it's going to happen, then what is the model good for?
I'm be honest with you. I don't have the answer right now. I'm not a fucking engineer.
Just answer. What is a model good for? If you're having three balls, one of them. Listen,
many things. It doesn't have to be just predicting shit.
I know, but what is this one for? The one where the moon is occulting the sunlight. Is it predicting the lunar eclipse?
No, it's not predicting
it's
when
not predicting when it's gonna.
Okay,
dude,
if it's a model,
it's predicting when.
There you go.
Look, if the model, if you have a bunch of equations, if you have a bunch of equations that don't make predictions, why are you calling it a model?
Gotcha.
I'm so frustrated talking to you.
Yeah, that is a fucking.
One more time,
dude.
One more time.
It isn't even considered a model unless it makes predictions. Period.
That's just inherently false. It's just
really. Then critique it. Go ahead and give us a critique on how that's false. Go ahead and demonstrate it right now.
The models are used for more than predicting things.
Like,
prove it.
Like what?
Fine,
dude, just drop your ego, man. You're spiraling, brother.
Dog, I don't need an ego when I'm in a room with you fucks, okay?
Yeah. Then prove it.
Dude, you're literally embarrassing the shit out of yourself.
Embarrassing myself in front of what? In front of who? Let's be real here.
Everyone on YouTube, we record this. I'll probably upload this.
Come on,
Spotify.
Is it everyone on YouTube? Everyone? Come on.
You're saying models aren't used for predictions.
No, you said everyone.
Are you going to hide behind?
When I said
you said everyone. No. Don't lie.
Yeah. If I did say everyone was in the context of everyone watching the YouTube channel, not everyone in the world.
Which is about like 30 grandmas that are selling Tupperware that can't even define what anything is.
You made a statement. You made a statement that you can't stand behind, dude. You made a statement that you can't stand behind. Yeah, you can't. So you said that model is not used for prediction, right? For the eclipses.
No, not what I said. I said it can be used for other things.
Is it used for prediction? Yes or no?
In some context, yes. Obviously.
No. In this context, in the context of the eclipses,
I'm explaining.
Prediction.
It is not being used to. It is not being used to predict the eclipse happening. No.
So what is it useful for?
To
go on.
Explain the
what?
Not to explain more. It's in the purpose of the
You're lost, aren't you? Look at you, you dumbass.
I took a millisecond to
a millisecond. That was
taking a millisecond.
That wasn't a millisecond, man.
About 500 milligrams of stupid.
No, because we're talking about explaining eclipses, and that threw me off. I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of funny.
Are you sweating? You sound like it.
Yeah, he is, dude.
Look, we're not even trying to cook you, but if you weren't so arrogant, we would just
arrogant. How am I being arrogant? I can't
saying, who's looking at your YouTube? Who am I speaking to? Nothing but retards. You're arrogant, dude.
Well, that's because you brought it up. That's on you.
And now we're going to cook you because of that.
Cook me?
You're going to get cooked, bro. Yes.
Is there anything left at this point?
I highly doubt that's going to happen. I hate to be a dickhead, but like,
I don't want to stop it until I want to squeeze every ounce of.
So I'm going to post in the chat a mathematician recounting how, showing how the heliocentric model cannot accurately predict eclipses when they happen.
Okay. Again,
so if your standard is a model, if your standard is they're doing the geometry, right?
I'm not talking about predicting when eclipses happen. I'm talking about explaining the shape the shadows take and like what.
Okay, I covered that.
You bit of a prediction, but what?
I covered that.
Yeah.
That also can't possibly be right, because is there a round shaped shadow on the moon?
Yes, I'll be honest, I don't fucking know what you mean by that question.
The shadow on the moon, the shape of the shadow. That's what you said, right?
Well, it depends on the type of eclipse we're talking about, because there's multiple types of eclipses.
Are you talking about?
Just in general, the phenomena where either the sun is in front of the moon, moon's in front of the sun, moon in front of Earth, Earth in front of moon, all that good shit. All types of eclipses that like we have observed many times.
Okay.
Over the course of like human history.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So first problem is no one's ever seen the moon go in front of the sun ever. You can't see the moon on an eclipse day, on a solar eclipse day, because it's a new moon phase. So for 3 days before and 3 days after, hold on, dude. For 3 days before and 3 days after.
Why are you interrupting me? Because you're lying. You're lying.
You can see a new moon.
Yes. So
you can see the moon during a new moon phase. Say that again. Say yes again. A new moon phase.
You can see the outline the moon has. Yes. Just because
as it approaches the sun.
Of the thing you assume it is.
It's not an assumption. It's basic fucking
You don't
fact.
see the moon.
You see a silhouette. That doesn't mean there's no fucking moon there.
How do you?
You put a man in a room, and all you see is a shadow silhouette of him.
How did you determine it was a moon, dude? How did you determine?
How do you know it's not some other body?
It's not a silhouette. It shows up as a thumb, as a black.
How did you determine it was a moon?
And actually, there's actually proof that
I drank the Kool-Aid. I listened to NASA. Fuck me. I listen to scientists and engineers and people that know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, the scientists and engineers told us that solar eclipses only happen during a new moon and that you can't see the moon. So you're not listening to them. You're making up your own shit.
Damn. Are you making up your own shit, Nate?
Okay, all lunar eclipses happen during the full moon. All solar eclipses.
You can see that the moon is there, obviously.
You're not seeing the moon,
you see the shadow. Obviously, no. But you are.
Thanks.
You are, but you aren't. I don't know how you're not understanding the nuance behind it.
That doesn't make any sense.
Okay,
if you're not seeing the details, but if you see a silhouette of something, you are still seeing its body.
You don't know if that body, but you don't know if that body is the moon.
We do know, dude. We do know.
No, dude.
How do we know that that's the moon? Oh, because we make a model and we make predictions. Oh, we don't do it that way either.
No, because it's common fucking sense at this point, dude.
It's not common sense, dude.
We have like
common sense is a logical fallacy.
It's in the sky taking pictures of the moon.
During a solar eclipse?
No. You're fucking stupid. Holy shit. Obviously not during a solar eclipse.
Well then?
You think some just random ass fuck ass celestial body shows up out of like thin air?
Well, they did back in the end of the 19th. They did at the end of the 19th century. There's a whole theory of it called Laplace's dark bodies. So that's mainstream science.
No, it's not, because it was like 200 fucking years ago.
Nuh-uh.
That's because it's literally not. Are you going to sit here and tell me that mainstream science is shit from the 1800s? Not anymore.
Laplace.
Not anymore. New information shows up, dickhead.
Listen to me. There's something called a Laplacian. It's a mathematical, it's a physics technique for getting the energy of a system. That is used currently all throughout science. So the person that came up with this dark body hypothesis is in a crank. All of science now, in physics at least, use his techniques. So, I don't know what you're talking about. Laplace. It's called a Laplace dark body. Okay. And other bodies have been seen in the sky during solar eclipse. No. How would you disprove it? That's why I'm asking you. How do you know it's the moon that's covering it up? Assuming it is being covered up.
Assuming it is being covered up, I went to the circus and found monkeys. That's on me. I did it again.
Yeah, you can't. You're at the circus. You're the fucking barking seal, dude.
That's true.
Yeah, I would give you just a little bit.
Again? You're here, no! Oh shit, she's gonna ban me again.
He's triggered with you.
What?
Dandelion.
I got.
Oh, me? Did I talk to him before? Probably. Yeah, a lot of them have that reaction to me now.
It's like a 65-year-old lady that doesn't know shit and doesn't have any communication with her grandchildren.
Relax, Nayef. Yeah,
is he alright? The fuck?
Yeah, I wish I had grandchildren. Yeah, one day maybe, if God blesses me.
One day, lady.
I was going to give you some advice. I was going to give you some advice, but now I'm not going to.
That explains why you don't have communication with your grandchildren, because they don't exist yet.
I know. I dream of the day. It'll be great. I'll start knitting right now just for you.
Wait, how old are you?
Don't worry about it, dude.
The fuck?
Yeah,
we said you dream of the day.
You don't need to know
grandchildren. I know I don't.
Yeah, homie, I said
you're getting upset over a question.
Science and space news. You can check out later at your leisure.
Yeah, I'm not looking at DMs from any of you weird fuckers. No offense. I don't trust it. I don't know what you sent me, and I don't want to look at it. I don't know what it could be.
It's a science and space news.
But knowing half of you old balding fucks, it could be feet pics or something crazy. So I'm not risking it.
Totally evolved into freaking grade school level insults.
Now, don't flatter yourself, dude. Nobody.
Yeah, I'm sure you're an Adonis,
bro.
Oh, what?
Dude, he's probably dude. I bet you're so fucking fat.
John Merrick.
You know, you're right. I am kind of fat. I've been putting on pounds. I ain't gonna. You got me there. I put on a little weight.
All that hummus. You know a lot of hummus.
I don't like hummus. I've actually never had it.
Do you like baba ganoush?
I don't know what that is. I've heard of it, but
yeah, it's made from eggplant. It's hard to find.
Yeah, I'm white. I just eat a lot of white people food.
Baklava.
You know, like Taco Bell, Burger King, that sort of shit.
Fucking hell, bro.
Why does it immediately devolve? Or not immediately, but you guys have this tendency to say some weird shit about India, Middle East. This is someone brought up hummus, baklava. Someone said something.
You're making me hungry. Stop it.
Well, the goal here
it's just weird that you guys go to that country.
It was actually an inside joke about a channel we had that was dedicated just to baklava, where we just posted pictures.
But the hummus comment was very indicative.
I just posted a current baklava picture not that long ago. It's really good.
Are all of you from India or something, or what's the running thing here?
Yeah, we all have chest CLOs above 2,500.
I've noticed this weird thing that's happening.
This guy's saying mainstream Middle Eastern about part of the psyop.
Details about people, what we do.
I'm not very concerned at all.
But you're fixated on it. Why are you so fixated on it? You've been talking about that and nothing else. You keep when you get caught in something, you revert back to that instantly. Why?
So does Dan.
Did you want to talk about the current socioeconomic state of the world right now? God forbid people have conversation topics that aren't just jerking each other off about how flat the Earth is.
Well, you're the one triggered by it.
I'm not triggered at all.
You're not triggered. I don't have. Listen, I have you blocked. You're triggered. I got screenshots of you want me to post all the screenshots?
Okay, so real quick,
lying about
if you have
why
me
did you lie
blocked,
if you're not triggered?
Would imply that you're triggered by me. I didn't block you. You blocked me because you were triggered by me.
You denied even conversating with me. So now, thanks for confessing your lies.
No, I said I don't have any message history with you, which I don't. I looked.
You're a liar.
Hey, I think
I'm gonna screen record me right clicking your name, clicking message,
may have deleted it after saying like 3 words to you because you're fucking stupid, and that's why I have any message history because it's deleted.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess what, dude. I'm gonna right click your name.
Yeah, I understand what you're doing. I heard you the first.
Scroll, dude.
We understand. Yes, I'm not calling you a liar. I don't know what this is all about. Being weird, but have fun.
You went off on this tangent.
Just shut up. Give us some evidence.
They can't do
evidence
that.
For what? Where the fuck did you come from?
In the Earth being a globe, like you so think it is. Because you got none, son. Do you? What do you got, Nayef?
No evidence I give you would suffice. And I think
a standard, right? Okay, since you're asking, a standard for at least a measurement of Earth's curvature. Give us that.
Just say,
that
how about
suffice?
Why do you think the Earth is a glob?
Well, let me just ask the standard. The standard is the measurement of the Earth's curvature. So can you provide that?
One at a time. What?
The standard for Earth's curvature, a measurement of it on the surface. Do you have that?
Not on me. No. I'm sure I could find it somewhere.
Like car keys on you, bro. It's like, go look for it. Do you think it exists?
How sure are you?
What are you saying?
I'm asking you how sure you are that you'll find it somewhere.
I'm very sure.
How a scale of 1 to 10, or how about give it a percentage?
I would say like 95, considering off the top of my head, I remember the one Flat Earth documentary that like proved themselves wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what you're going to go with that?
No. I'm saying I have a 95%. I'm 95% confident because I can already think of one. And that's like, scraping the bottom of the barrel with that one because it's just like a bunch of flat earthers like doing pseudoscience.
Yeah. So they measured curvature by doing pseudoscience? Yeah, I agree.
That's a problem now because you said flat earthers proved
being a dickhead.
Flat earthers did pseudoscience.
Well, let me ask you, what do you know about the test? Did they use a laser?
I don't remember. That's why I said I'd have to go look for it.
Then how do you know the result is what you think it is?
Because I remember that like it was a huge thing and everyone was laughing at them because, flat earthers.
That's all you remember. All you remember is the laughing part. You have no idea what they did. You don't have the slightest clue.
Well, yeah, that's why I have to go find
the meme.
I just remember everybody laughing at them because they did it wrong and proved themselves wrong.
They didn't and prove themselves wrong.
No, I misspoke. They proved them. I meant to say prove themselves wrong.
Actually, you don't know what they did.
Yeah, I know, but I'm going to go find it.
Well, how are you evaluating whether they proved themselves wrong if you don't know what they did?
Because it was like common knowledge. Everybody was talking about it when it came out. Yes. Everybody was.
A whisper campaign is your proof of the globe. Amazing.
No. I never said that was my proof. You're doing it again. I was asked
measurements of drop over distance.
I was asked how confident I was that I could find proof, and I said 95% because I can already think of one thing that supports my claim. Obviously, one thing that supports my claim is not enough to completely prove everything. I would of course have to find multiple sources to prove my claim. But the fact that I was able to think of one off the top of my head, something.
You actually didn't think of one.
You're right.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You actually didn't think of one. You heard people say, yes, this is one, but it's actually not.
Sure.
They didn't measure what you think they measured.
They tried to measure the curvature, was proven wrong.
No, that's not what happened.
All right. Maybe we're not talking about the same documentary then.
No, we are. Jeranism, Netflix documentary, Beyond the Curve or Over the Curve or whatever the name of it was.
Yeah, you're just like saying things, and I never
the part where Jaren says, "Oh, that's interesting that they clipped. That was 4 hours before that they clipped after." Yeah, that one where he says that's interesting. That one.
Like through cardboard holes.
Don't remember. You're just assuming that we're talking about the same documentary. We could be talking about 2 different fucking movies.
You know what they did in the documentary?
So now you don't even know which one you're referring to.
Yeah, what
that's why I said go find it.
Yeah, well, that's why I asked you your confidence level. That you.
That's why I said 95%.
Yeah, well, I think your competence is unjustified. Okay, because the first one you mentioned isn't even what you think it is.
Okay, you don't know what it is. Because you're just assuming I'm talking about the same thing you are.
How many Flat Earth documentaries are there? Like one?
I mean, depending on your metric for what a documentary is, there's a bunch of fucking films, movies, videos.
What did they do?
You don't know.
I'd be down
Whatever
to fucking
documentary you're guessing,
now.
I think I saw. You're wrong
Teeth,
because
can't
there
even
might
get
be
the
some other
fucking teeth out. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. And you're just assuming that we're talking about the same movie, and you're like,
we are.
We don't know what they were talking about because you're not telling us what they did.
We are, because it's the one that everyone was talking about. Remember? Or did you forget you said that too?
Oh, so now everyone's talking about it, or did you forget you said that too?
Okay, it's the one everyone was talking about, and that was the Netflix one.
Possibly. You know, we don't know.
No, it was.
We don't know yet. No one can know unless you can give me, a standard scientific experiment with an independent variable. There's no way to know for sure which movie I'm talking about.
Okay, we're not trying to figure out the cause of an effect, dumb shit.
We're not.
You did a false equivalence fallacy. Good try, though. You just went down to claims even worse. You're just embarrassing yourself.
Which is a real thing I learned. Fallacy.
Yeah, there's a fallacy that just because someone...
It was a bad analogy doesn't mean my point. Yeah, my point.
Still a false
point, though. It's not a false equivalence.
It is a false equivalence. I said how.
You're just attacking the fallacy instead of the point.
No. We're not trying.
You're doing the thing. You did the thing you made fun of me for earlier. That's funny as shit.
Trying to cover up. Now we'll talk over it. Now we'll just talk over you. So it's really simple. We're talking about the existence or non-existence. Listen, we're talking about the existence or non-existence of something. You're talking about that.
Yeah,
I know. Over me.
Oh no, I'm just agreeing with you.
No, you're muted. Okay, I'm not, because now I'm tired of it. So, it's a false equivalence because we're talking about the existence or non-existence of something versus the cause and effect relationship of a natural phenomenon. They're not the same thing. You don't use the same methodology to figure it out. Okay, it's very fucking simple. So it's a false equivalence. You're comparing two things which aren't comparable.
You haven't been to sleep, have you, Indio?
No, I have.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I got 4 hours.
Oh, fair enough.
So, dude, why don't you go find that what you asked? Well, you said, hey, what's your standard of evidence? It's been given to you. Now, please go find it and come back so we can talk about it. I see him light him up. I don't hear him.
Because you just said go find the evidence and come back. You may keep calling you a fucking brain dead idiot while I'm doing it, or do you have like a degradation kink? What the fuck are you going on about?
Because you're not going to listen. This ain't our first rodeo.
You said go
We're
find
still waiting
it.
for a
It
dude
was
to come back
silent for 2 seconds.
We're waiting for a dude to come back after 6 years. You're not going to find it because it's never been done.
6 years. I've been in this call for like maybe 20 minutes. So
no, we have a guy. He said, I'm going to find evidence that the curvature was measured over distance. A guy with 3 PhDs in our old server. That's not even this server. Okay? He said,
so
I'll come back.
A flat earther with a supposed PhD.
He wasn't a flat earther.
You just said he was part of your server.
No, we were having a debate like this one. He said, I'll go find the evidence and I'll come back. And that was 6 years ago. Okay? So you can find the evidence. You're not going to find it with just a simple Google search. Why do you think this channel even exists? You think that you're the first person?
Money laundering, probably. A grift.
Money laundering. A grift?
I don't know.
You think there's money
okay. No, you're right. The money laundering was crazy. You guys have like 7 views on your YouTube. You're not making anything off of that. That's on me. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you are an idiot. There's no money in this topic.
Yeah. I'll admit that was kind of a dumb response. There's no money behind it. It's just It's just a weird hobby, if anything, honestly.
Not a hobby.
Here comes the coping mechanism.
I appreciate the commitment to the bit, though. It is kind of entertaining
now
sometimes.
It's a bit. It was a grift. Now it's a bit. Now it's a hobby.
It can be all three. They're not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you can just
like some of you in here do it as a hobby. Some of you are committed to the bit and like don't actually believe it's a flat Earth. And some of you
about anybody's personal life, but you're making evaluations on why they're doing things. It's very strange.
Well, because I said,
I'm full of shit, Nayef. You're just full of shit. You're just garbage, dude. It's really that simple. You've been in this call just lying your ass off the entire time. You're garbage.
Honestly,
human garbage.
I don't think I've lied once since I've been in here.
Are you an atheist, Nayef?
No, actually.
That's shocking. Well, I hope your deity or whatever it is you believe in has mercy on your soul.
I doubt it. He doesn't have mercy on really anyone anymore, or ever.
Who is it?
It's just a generic guy in the sky type shit.
No, he has mercy on souls.
Some sort of
what we're talking about does not.
Look, we're not gonna
my current explanation for some sort of godhead figure that exists and controls the universe seems to be kind of like an asshole. So
seems to be would be an overstatement.
Well, yeah, you got a point there. He pretty much is an asshole. The world's on fire and shit. Everything's everything sucks. So
to have curvature is the empirical standard we require.
Is
Are you finding
still
that?
Mad? I think someone's still mad about the Holy Wars, bruv.
Is that still happening? Someone's getting that measurement.
Are you saying I'm mad about the Holy World Wars? I have no ties to that at all.
Mad about the Holy Wars.
Can you hear
I'm not talking about that.
Because you just said he seems like an asshole.
Now you're muted, dude, and you're gonna get kicked out of here if you keep it up.
Yeah, no, I'm saying the Godhead that or whatever.
That conversation's over, buddy.
Oh, okay, my bad. Holy shit!
Did you
all right there, bud? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I asked you a question that you didn't pay attention to.
Still waiting for those.
No, we asked about the Holy Wars. Oh, no, I thought you were the one that asked me about the Holy. Okay, I don't know.
Still waiting for those Earth curve measurements, right? That's all.
So in what form? Would a picture, a calculation, a test? What specific form would this answer need to take the form of? Or I repeat it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's going to be. Go on, Indio, you do it.
Well, I was just going to say. I mean, you just measure it.
You got to elaborate further. What do you mean just measure it? What am I measuring specifically?
You're measuring drop over distance because if the Earth is curved, then it should be curving away, right? So if I have a horizontal line extending out from a location, the Earth should curve away from that horizontal line. It should curve down, right? So that distance should increase. The distance between the Earth and that horizontal line should increase with distance at a prescribed rate that conforms to 3,959 mile radius. Roughly, that rate is roughly 8 inches per mile squared. So in 10 miles, if I had a laser, I shine the lasers at 10 miles, the surface of the Earth should be 66 feet lower than the laser. Right? So I start at it with a laser at, say, 1 foot, and I beam it 10 miles. At 10 miles away, the surface of the Earth should be 66 feet down from the laser. That distance should have increased between the Earth and the laser.
What is your standard of proof for the distance increasing?
A tape measure.
No. I'm saying that if I showed you a picture right now of something 60 miles out over the horizon, showing that the Earth curves away, would that suffice?
No, because if your idea is to show something that's cut off at the bottom up and then reaching a conclusion based upon your interpretation of that, we can show that observation, that visual, will happen on a flat surface too. So you're not doing it. Hold on, it'll happen on a flat. Listen, did you hear what I said? It'll happen on a flat surface too. You think you have this idea that, say, there's windmills out 60 miles away, and if I can't see the bottom, that can only happen on a curved surface. No, that happens on a flat surface as well.
And why does it happen on a flat surface to be?
Doesn't matter. It does because we've tested this experimentally. Yeah, experimentally. So what you do is you do an experiment in which you eliminate curvature as a variable, and if you get the same visual effect,
so go to the ocean line, correct?
Okay.
Because windmills aren't in the ocean.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we're using windmills. Like windmills are usually on hilly terrain, so obviously there's going to be.
No, they have windmills. They have windmills in the ocean.
Yeah, wind turbines. You know, wind farms.
Yeah.
Windmills.
Yeah, they're usually in like the hills. At least that's where I've seen them.
They have complete in Europe. They have these giant wind farms that are out in the ocean, where the windmills are like 300 meters tall and shit. Anyway, the point is that just saying, hey, I don't see the bottom. I think I should see the bottom. Therefore, the Earth is curved is not a measurement. We want a measurement, an objective measurement, because just like building a house, right? If you don't just look at the pieces and say, oh, that looks 10 feet, that looks 6 feet, that looks 3 feet. That's not how we do it, right? If you want precision, you got to measure. Okay, so we want precision. It means you have to measure the curve. That's what we want. Which I don't think is unreasonable when you're gonna tell everybody to base their entire worldview in freaking existential reality on an idea. The least you can do is go out and fucking measure something. I'm not swearing at you. I'm swearing at, I guess the powers that should not be, because we've asked tons and tons of people over a period of years, thousands of people, do you have any measurements to drop over distance? And the answer's a big fucking no. Did he dip?
I think so, mate.
Bro dipped, man. You want curvature? Dip. I want to talk about the sky.
Yeah, I was going to give him some advice. Good thing he cut me off so I didn't have to waste my breath. Won't do that again.
Yeah. Yeah, when he came in, I looked in the chat. I'm like, it said blocked. I don't block anybody. I'm like, oh, God, he must have did something horrible.
I saw you talk to him in 2019 that you put in there. Oh, my gosh. If this guy's been looking into this for 6 years, that's not a good sign. This is as far as he's gotten. It's not good.
Yeah, and he's still very angry. As angry as he was at day one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to tell him. Just, maybe you might consider just in life that you can get information from all kinds of places. I mean, that goes for any globe believer that comes in here. I mean, we know they don't like to listen to flat earthers, but they don't even have to. They could secretly listen to us and get some ideas that might prove to be helpful or useful in their life. Even if they don't become a flat earther. I mean, he was just sure that everything NASA said was right and everything we said was wrong. But he's not really very good at evaluating information.
Yeah. Kind of told on himself at the end, though, when he's like, life sucks. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe his life sucks.
Yeah, he's not even getting his warm, fuzzy feeling from the globe. Like you told him. Gosh, what's the point of being Glober if you can't get the warm, fuzzy globe feeling?
Good God. He's funny. You're funny. The warm, fuzzy feeling from the globe.
From your little plush globe. I could sell warm, fuzzy globes. We could sell that in our Sticks and Shadows shop.
Dude, you could sell globes that are they're fuzzy like a tennis ball.
Yeah.
And you dye the fuzz, right? And the continents and.
We'd have to put a disclaimer on them, though. We wouldn't want them to get out into circulation if people thought they were real.
Well, yeah, we could sell it. Well, you sell them at a toy store, obviously.
Yeah, fake globes, fantasy globes. $5.99. Okay, so you're saying I should feel sorry for him. I'll do my best.
No, I mean, I was just trying to like correlate that to like his bad attitude. You know what I mean? How he was kind of like a brick wall. He was like dug into like, I'm not going to listen to you guys. It's all for naught anyway.
Yeah. He doesn't even have the energy to rethink his worldview. It's gotten him this far. The belligerent, angry one. Might as well just keep going.
I mean, if he realized that the Earth is not a globe, like he already thinks life sucks. I mean, is it going to get worse? Like, is the globe making it better? You said you don't care one way or another. So, like,
I know.
why are you in here yelling at us, like talking shit about our families? Like, what is wrong with you if you don't care? You just a weirdo? The ones that say they don't care the most. That's the ironic thing.
I think that's true. Yeah, it's like a defensive thing. Yeah. I care so much, but I don't want you to know. Oh, AV is gone. I wanted to ask him what happened with this girl. I had to go to the dentist, so I missed. He was talking to this crazy lady. When I left, I was kind of hoping she'd still be here so I could talk to her, but I don't really want to talk to her, so it'll be fine.
He told me about it when he came in. He said she like just spiraled out of control.
She was already spiraling, yeah, when I had to check out of the conversation. She was quite entertaining, though. Yeah, she should come back. I mean, just in terms of, I actually, that's what I was going to tell him. I'll tell him next time I see him that I liked his approach when she came in demanding a model, because that's what they do, right? These days, like somehow I don't know where they're hearing that that's what they should come in and demand, but they come in and demand at first thing. Then he showed her that thing, the elevation profile. It was so funny. He got her to admit
Oh,
there
that's
was
what
a
he
flat.
said. She went crazy over the elevation profile. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because he got her by, just questioning methods to admit that it was a flat sea level baseline. And then she was like, no, but it's really a curve. They just put it that way because it's easier. It was like, oh my gosh, that just totally freaked her out because he got her to admit something. She could tell she was one of these people just like very married to her intellect. Like that is her pride and joy. And she didn't like it being challenged.
Yeah. Alpha said that she came in demanding a flat Earth model, so he presented that, and then she denied it was a flat Earth model or something.
Yeah, it was making me think. I think every time they ask for a model, I'll just give them another model of something, whatever it may be. I mean, that one's a good one. Maybe I'll use that one. It's a good idea. But just, there's a lot of things you can model on a flat Earth, and then she was like,
they don't want. But the thing is, we talked about this. They actually don't want a flat Earth model. They want a model of the sky. That's what they're actually asking for. They just don't know that's what they want, right? Because the globe model is a model of the sky. And they don't realize it, so they go flat Earth model. Show me. They want a model of the sky.
It is true. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, because the Earth is just the Earth. It's just the land. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean that's what I usually present them with. Is just a map of Illinois or whatever they want to. I mean, a map's not a model, but it's a representation of the Earth.
But I understand the spiral. How could she say what he presented is not a model of the flat Earth? It's an elevation profile. Like that's not a flat Earth model. Then what's it a model of?
Yeah, it was a great convo. I mean, the part that I heard, which was like the first part, I guess.
Is it like coherent? Because maybe I'll clip it if it's not like too.
I feel like you could. Yeah, they were taking turns. Like, yeah, the people wouldn't be able to see the image they were looking at, but it was described. Yeah, because he had her describe, like, what do you see? What is on the x-axis? What's on the y-axis? So, yeah, I actually think it would work. Yeah, I actually think it would work.
Yeah, the other guy that was talking, the one that really triggered by you for whatever reason.
I know. I don't know. I think we've talked before, but I don't know how it went. Probably badly.
Yeah, it was probably in the other server. He probably came in on ladies night and did some dummy stuff. So
Probably.
He said models have purposes other than prediction. Though he couldn't name one other purpose that you would use a model for that wasn't prediction. I was like, then what is it? Like, what is it? Like, why does it even have the name model if you can't use it to predict anything?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people just suffer from apparently not being able to ever back down, and then that is a problem when you're going to keep asserting things that you don't really know about and don't have any evidence for. I mean, I guess if you're going to go around doing that, then I guess it follows you to have to just like not back down, right? Because you don't have anything to back it up. So then they just become these kind of blustery personalities that just rely on that to just kind of bulldoze through life, I guess. Doesn't sound like very much fun. Like, I wouldn't want to be a bulldozer.
You know, I think sometimes they have this, like, this guy's like that guy, where he has, like, I'll ask them this question. I know they can't answer it. And I'm going to just expose all their bullshit when they talk. And then they come in and they instantly get ripped apart. And then they're just, oh my God, they had all that ego and all that confidence and all that bravado when they came in. And they were so sure in their own mind of their own correctness. And then, like, it's almost like a self-doubt thing. Like, oh my God. Like, they can't accept the fact that they thought, plotted, and planned, and their plan failed instantly. Instantly. Right? It's like Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. That's what happened to those guys. But this isn't a boxing ring, so we can't just physically knock them out. I mean, we can mute them, and he had to be muted a few times in the beginning. So it's like something like that. They just can't. Their ego and their confidence doesn't match like the actual strength of their evidence. They're overestimating the strength of what they're presenting, and their ego won't let them back away from that.
Yep, I think that's good analysis. Yeah, and then with somebody like him who's been around for a while, gosh, you would think he would know that, we're not just going to be a bunch of pushovers that are going to just sit here and praise his amazing NASA knowledge. I don't know, like some of the teenagers that come in, they've just been told, flat earthers are stupid. Here's somewhere you can go to talk to dumb people. But people like him, like, you're really still thinking that there's some kind of disconnect going on there.
Did you hear him in the beginning? Like, so when he first came in, he tried to pull the narrative nonsense tactic they do. How do you explain eclipses? See, flat earthers can't explain everything. After 6 years, you still can't explain eclipses. You don't know why he started with that crap. So that's where he came in at. And then we.
Oh yeah, I heard part of the end of that. Maybe.
Yeah. Then we showed that like nobody knows that, and there's no way to even find out. And then, you know what I mean? That's
what they don't know.
It's crazy when you have this narrative in your mind that you think you're going to be able to spew, and then like the whole premise of your narrative is just completely wrong. And then, but you came in with all of this piss and vinegar, thinking you were going to smash on people. And then, you got nothing, man. You got butt kiss. You got an empty hand. There's nothing in there.
Oh, yeah. I saw a video of you getting cursed by Planet Peterson, Indio.
Point where they won't be blocked by the waves. It'll be on top of the waves.
It was, and then it passed that point.
Okay. Well, if it's on top of the wave, you should see the bottom.
No, not if there's an object obstructing the view, which is the wave that's close to the camera. That's why you shouldn't have it so close to the ground.
The wave that's close to the camera. See, you see the water, it's sloping up, right?
The water's sloping up.
Yeah, it appears to slope up to the center of vision, right? So how can a wave in the foreground, which is lower, like below this horizon, block something that's at the horizon? There should not even be a horizon.
But there is.
Yeah, I know. There should be no horizon. This horizon is
to go.
Yeah, I bet. So just go.
But there is a horizon.
Yeah, I'm aware of that, and that's a problem for the globe because there shouldn't be one in this image.
Hold on.
What, do you know why?
Which image? This one in the side chat?
Yeah, the little RC boat. Do you know why there should be no horizon here?
But there isn't horizon.
There's no horizon here now. You just said, but there is.
I mean, in this picture.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the picture, though. I was talking like in real life.
Yeah, there's a horizon in the picture and in real life, dude. This picture is of real life. What is a horizon?
This is RC boat. This is RC boat.
What is a horizon?
It's like the visible part of a sphere.
No.
Of the end of a sphere.
So you're making up your own definition?
But if you went with that, then that horizon shouldn't be observable in this image. It should be further away, 200 meters.
Because
it causes the curvature of the Earth, as you just said. So this horizon is too close.
No, the horizon is a consequence of the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah, we know. But according to the mathematics, it should be further away. It's too close.
How close
Why is there a horizon at
700 feet. It's at least 700 feet. It should be 2,400 feet.
In this picture?
Yeah. From this camera height, the horizon should be 2,400 feet away.
At what distance? Like, how big is this boat?
8 inches. It's irrelevant, though. We're talking about the horizon.
It is relevant, though.
Okay. There should be no horizon on this lake. The globe model says there should be no horizon on this lake at all.
If it's a bigger thing, then you will be able to see it further away.
Yeah, congratulations. That's irrelevant. We're talking about the horizon.
No, but even if there was a horizon, you would still see it.
There shouldn't be, dude. There shouldn't be a horizon. There should be no visual horizon here in this image at all.
How is this just not like the waves of the water?
So waves are Earth curve now? Is that what you're saying?
No, no. I'm asking you, like, are these like not waves on the water and not the horizon?
Okay, I'll show you one where the water's perfectly like fucking glass. I got another one, and also a short distance.
How much distance?
I think it was like 200 meters.
You know, sometimes it's the camera. Like, it's not the same. Like,
that's crazy, dude. Like, you guys, listen. We've made the observation about cut off halfway. You guys keep coming up with reasons, right? What it could be. All we need to know is it's a flat surface, and whatever's cutting it off is not Earth curve. But you guys think this will only happen with Earth curve. But you're conceding that that's not it by speculating about what it is.
I mean, do you like understand the logic of elimination?
Logic of elimination,
bro. Like if it's not this, then it's that.
Yeah, we
think this will only happen with Earth curve. But you're conceding that that's not it by speculating about what it is.
I mean, do you like understand the logic of elimination?
Logic of elimination,
bro.
Like if it's not this, then it's that.
Yeah, we eliminated Earth curve.
Yeah.
So it's not that.
But the distance isn't big enough.
Yes, it is. Right, it's not enough distance. The Earth curve would have been further back.
Yeah, and therefore it's probably something like either waves or like camera.
Right, so it's not Earth curve. Earth curve was eliminated. There you go.
Or fucking optics, based on the angular resolution limit of the optic.
Are you finding the picture?
Yeah, hold on, I got it.
Indio?
Yeah, I got it. It's a video. This water's as smooth as glass, dude. So it ain't waves. It's not about. It's a light. There's a light at the end of this. It's like 200 meters. They go over the camera and the light disappears. Also, not Earth curve.
But
It's having issues. Penguin is having some serious issues. Sorry about you were talking. I do apologise.
Yeah, it's a freak out.
I thought you were laughing with me.
No, not you, my friend. Somebody in the side chat.
In text chat. Yeah, dude, this is a meltdown. This has been a while since that level of melting down in text chat. That's glorious, man.
What is it? Dude, I had 4 of them doing it all at the same time the other day. That's heretic, man. There's 4 of them in the chat going fucking bananas, pinging me, doing all sorts of nonsense.
That was so funny.
Yeah, I heard part of that. That was pretty wild. What'd you say, heretic?
I think it might have been even more than 4.
Yeah, it might have been.
So yeah, I had to go to bed. Yeah, you guys kept the ship going. That's good. Yeah, they were kind of crazy that night.
It's windy where I am, so if you hear wind, I'm sorry.
It's windy. Okay, thank you for telling us.
I just think it's so funny where they say this phenomena has to be Earth curve, and then they start giving you alternate explanations for what it could be.
Bro, no one's saying this.
You did it a minute ago. So did the other guy a bunch of times.
I think you didn't understand what I was saying, though.
Okay. Why don't you see? Why is the boat cut off halfway? Why do you see half the boat?
But the video is a light source, not a boat.
The video is a light source? What the fuck does that mean?
No, bro. You just posted a video of like a light bulb or something.
No, I'm talking about the RC boat, the first one. That's what I'm referencing. Why is the boat cut off halfway? Didn't you listen? Why is this boat? I'll post it again. Why is this boat cut off halfway?
Is that the curve of the Earth?
Jeopardy, baby.
Think about it, like Matt or whatever. Is that the curve of the Earth you're looking at? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Now think. Analyze the data in front of you.
Well, it's over, dude.
There you go. Something disappears bottom up doesn't have to be due to Earth curve. So bottom up disappearance does not prove Earth curve.
Well, I didn't say it. I didn't say like every time something disappears, it's because of the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah, it would have to be in order for that to be a proof. It has to be necessary. That it be
So how can we tell it's so? Okay, cool. I'll agree with you. How can we tell when it's Earth curve and when it's not Earth curve? How do we test?
Usually, when it's like a big distance and you eliminate all other things, then it's the curvature of the Earth. How far away?
Yeah, quantify it. How big? 10 kilometers, 1,000 kilometers? How big? Like, when does the Earth curve start?
I mean, it never ends. It's just
the bullshit never ends in this chat. That's right. That's the only thing that never ends.
No, I mean, curvature means that it's the ball, so it doesn't have really.
No, I'm talking. You said, listen. I said, hey, when can you tell it's Earth curve or what you're seeing is not Earth curve? You said it has to be a long distance, and I asked you to quantify what's the distance.
Yeah, then it depends on. I guess there's like a minimum distance, and then from there, there's also the height of the object.
Okay, so here's the scenario. I look out on the ocean. I look at a boat. The boat's 45 feet tall. It's 12 miles away. I'm at the ocean. I'm 6 feet tall, and I see half the boat. Is that Earth curve?
Not necessarily. It could just be like the way the light hits your eyes.
I don't understand what that means. What do you mean the way the light hits your eyes?
I mean, like your eyes aren't like a perfect camera. They're not gonna like.
What the hell does that got to do with anything?
Well, no, I'm just explaining like what could it be if it's not the curvature of the Earth.
So you're saying ocular defects. You need glasses. You need to go see an optometrist. That's your fucking.
No,
reason.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like no human could see at a certain distance. There's not like a person that can see infinite distance. We all have like a render distance.
Yeah, that's your fucking.
No,
reason.
but no. Like, what could it be if it's not the curvature of the Earth?
So you're saying ocular defects. You need glasses. You need to go see an optometrist. That's your fucking.
No,
reason.
but no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like no human could see at a certain distance. There's not like a person that can see infinite distance. We all have like a render distance.
Yeah, a render distance, bro. You don't have a render distance. The human eye doesn't work like a fucking camera or a video game. Okay, I'm just trying to get how do you distinguish the Earth curve have cutoff ship and the not Earth curve have cutoff ship? How can we tell one from the other? Like Echoplex just posted in the chat. How do we know that is an Earth curve cutoff and not something else? Not like the thing that's cutting off the RC boat.
I guess it depends on like how far away it is.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you again. Can you quantify that? How far away? Is 12 miles enough?
I mean, I'm just looking at a picture with no context, so how can I know?
Okay. I'll tell you. The RC boat? Do you want to give the context of that?
The big boat, the cargo boat in the side chat.
You're the first Glober to say that video has no context, that picture, because Globers just take that image at face value. So, if you rescaled the RC boat to like a full-size boat and assume that the camera is at 6 feet and did your rescaling, that RC boat would be 12 miles away and 45 feet tall. Okay?
That's not how it works, though.
What do you mean that's not how it works?
But I mean, the size of the Earth doesn't change.
Are you saying that light? Hold on. No. I'm saying if you took the RC boat experiment and scaled it up to like a full-size boat, so instead of a 1.5 inch camera height, you say it's a 6 inch camera height. How big would the boat become, and how far away would that boat be? That is 12 miles, and the boat would be 45 feet tall because we know the boat is 6 inches and we know it's 700 feet from the camera, and we just use the scale factor and we rescale. Okay, light is scale invariant, right? So scale of light doesn't change anything. It's the same at every scale. until you get to the angle resolution limit. So it's different at a very small scale, but that's also wavelength dependent. And I'm not getting into that. So I'm just trying to figure out if how we can tell the difference, because now you're going against all the other globers to say the observation's impossible on a flat Earth, and now you're saying, yeah, it is possible on a flat Earth to make this observation, and it's also possible on the globe, right? So we want to know what is the distinction. How can we tell the difference?
I mean, if you just scale up the boat, you're not also scaling up anything else. So it's
again, like I scaled up the camera height and the distance.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna see it further away.
What else do I need to rescale?
You're saying like, am I going to be able to see the same thing from 12 miles away if the boat was 40 feet tall?
What? No, if you took a picture of a boat that's 45 feet tall with the same zoom level, right?
Okay.
45 feet tall, 12 miles away, with the same zoom level, some 6 feet, it would look like that image.
Would you even be able to see it from 12 miles away?
Yes. I've seen ships 30 miles away.
So like, are you claiming the Earth is flat?
Yeah,
because it's measured that way.
It's observed that way, and it's practically used that way. The only logical conclusion is the Earth is flat.
Well, in most cases, yes, but there are like certain cases where
measurements
of like Earth's curvature and Earth's rotation.
Give us a for instance.
Like when firing artillery shells. You need to account for Earth's rotation.
So all things that leave the surface of the Earth appear to deflect, do they?
What?
All things that leave the surface of the Earth, the artillery shell, appears to deflect, do they?
What do you mean by deflect?
Well, you're saying that you have to account for the rotation of the Earth because you're not going to have a true straight shot. When the Earth is rotating, then you're going to miss your target unless you account for that rotation, right? So that means that all things that leave the surface of the Earth are going to deflect due to the rotation, aren't they? As you're trying to demonstrate in the artillery.
Like when the shell is fired.
Yeah.
You know, the Earth below it is rotating like a little bit.
Yeah, so that means all things that are not attached to the surface of the Earth would appear to deflect because of the rotating reference frame belief. That's your claim. I'm just making sure I understand your claim correctly.
Well, you know, maybe English is not.
No, it's fine.
Can you explain like what deflect means?
So deviate. Not a true straight path because of the spin of the Earth.
Yeah, at big distances, yeah.
Yeah. So everything that's not on the surface in the sky is going to appear not to go straight. Right? That's what you're telling us. No? Okay, so what are you telling us?
Well, when you got like an artillery that gets its energy all at once, then when you shoot at it, it's not going to go exactly straight. So you need to account for that.
Yeah, it's not going to go straight. Cool, so that is what you're saying. I was right. So things that leave the surface of the Earth are not going to go straight, right? Yes? That's what you're saying.
Things that like go on a ballistic trajectory aren't going to go straight.
Are you just saying that things go up and down, or are you saying things drift to the side because of Earth rotation?
Yeah, they drift like from left to right depending on which direction you shoot at.
Yes, it's not going to go straight. Cool.
Yeah.
So that means that everything that left the Earth's surface would appear not to go straight, like an aircraft, like a hovering helicopter, a bird in flight.
Well, a helicopter is like floating,
hovering. The helicopter is hovering, showing no acceleration. Yeah.
I mean, it's not gonna go anywhere. Like
no, dude. If it's going to stay above the surface of the Earth, and you're saying that the surface of the Earth is moving because of your artillery example, then the helicopter, when it's hovering, is going to have to accelerate to keep up with the rotating surface. But the helicopter doesn't accelerate; it's hovering.